We got the Friday the 13th on NES music. That can only mean one thing. Horror has come back to the Bad Game Hall of Fame. Hello, Charky. Hello, Johnny.
Hey, Cass.
Hello.
Welcome, one and all. Welcome to the Bad Game Hall of Fame. Welcome to Resident Evil Gaiden. This is the show in which we play Resident Evil Gaiden for the Game Boy Color. Interesting one up our sleeves this time around. Not our first run-in with a Resident Evil here on this channel, because for as much as we may love Resident Evil around these parts, they've not all been winners, and we've played, to that effect, the Gun Survivor games in the Resident Evil series. We've played 2 out of 3 campaigns so far in Resident Evil 6, and this is one that I felt we had to tackle at some point or another. A game with mixed reception on release, but mixed is good enough. Mixed is good enough for the Bad Game Hall of Fame if some of the lower end of reviews are talking about how a game doesn't belong in a franchise or is too much of a departure or what have you. Where we actually fall on the game, where our opinions will lie, is to be determined. In the case of this game, Resident Evil Gaiden, it's been a while since I last played it, so I honestly don't have fresh enough a take on it to have a fully formed opinion on.
What's your leftover stale take? What's your sitting in the back of the fridge for way too long take?
You know, that's actually a good point, and that's a good question. I'll ask you two first if you know anything about this game beyond the release info on the screen right now.
I see developed by M4, which I love their guns, but
I know M4, not to interrupt, but M4, former Bit Studio employees, Bit Studio, who have shown up a number of times for a number of games on this program.
Yeah. No kidding. I know what this game is, like, on a technical level. I think I've never played it, but I think it's a very interesting way of going about trying to do a Resident Evil on a handheld. Like, I could imagine that this could have been like a completely straight top-down affair. And I think we'll see, the gameplay when we get into it. But I think what they went for is at least interesting. I don't know how well it plays, but I think it's a cool idea they went with. Also, I think this is an idea that there's a game that came out semi-recently called You'll Die Here Tonight that I think is like a modern reimagining of this, more or less.
No, you're thinking of Cold Fear. Cold Fear for the PS2, a modern reimagining of
Actually, they call me the Fizz in chat. Says the beginning of Resident Evil's quasi-canon cruise trilogy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess they kind of did come back to it for
Dead Aim. Revelations.
Well,
yep.
Revelations is what I was saying. Yeah,
but Dead Aim is also very spot on.
Yeah, but yeah, this is where the love affair with setting games on boats started. I've not played this either. My main my impression is hearing that some people either think like, oh, it's a nice take on it, or people hate it. Like I've never really heard it in the middle. It's always been polar opposite takes on it. And I do know the basics of gameplay, probably from watching the Stops Gessens from Fighting video where they briefly covered this. But yeah, I've not actually seen it all the way through, so I'm curious if its mechanics do hold up.
Okay, so my stale take. I remember this game being right down the middle for me. I think it has some really neat atmosphere. I think conceptually it's not rotten. I think it had some ideas that probably should have been workshopped a little more, maybe refined a little bit more, but it's also on the Game Boy Color, which is a system you can only do so much on in terms of input, in terms of scale and depth and so forth. But I think come the end of this episode, I will either love it or hate it. I promise to completely change my opinion and not be so middle of the road. I will either defend this game to the death or I will kill it.
I feel like that's the case with every game that we play.
Yeah, call it recency bias, perhaps. We should probably quickly fly through the release info on this in just a tiny little bit. I don't have the whole history section worked up for this. There's just not enough about this game out there, but I do know a little bits of behind the scenes, pardon the pun, bits. This was released December 14th, 2001 in Europe, first territory it came out in. came out March 29th, 2002 in Japan and June 4th, 2002 in North America. This speaks to the fact that its developer, M4, being former Bits Studio alum, operated out of the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And it also explains why this was published first by Virgin Interactive in Europe, who had interests in publishing, primarily in Europe. I think they published a few North American titles as well.
Yeah,
but
they were publishing a lot of Capcom stuff in the late 90s and a bit of early 2000s.
When I was a kid, I had a CD case. It was just nice. Like the texture looked like faux snakeskin, but it was all silver and reflective. But it was made by Virgin Records, so it had a big Virgin sticker in the corner. So I did cover it with an Offspring sticker because that was less embarrassing than a Virgin sticker.
My first cell phone was a Virgin mobile phone, and it had the Virgin logo written on it, and I did my best to hide that because high schoolers can be cruel. And of course, published by Capcom in Japan and North America. Gotta finish that.
Yeah. I mean, my second CD case came from Never Fuck Records, so I was just gave up at that point.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
So just the quickest bit of information, a backstory on this. This is not the first portable Resident Evil game. Credit to that would go to Resident Evil 2's conversion to the Tiger Gamecom, which is a whole fucking thing. So that comes out. Capcom aren't thrilled about its reception, the Gamecom at all. They start to commission for the Game Boy Color a conversion of the original Resident Evil, a conversion that prototypes have since leaked out for. You can find some vaguely playable, semi-complete builds of that Game Boy Color Resident Evil. But M4, I believe they pitched their idea to Capcom to try and... Actually, you know what? I remember specifically now. They were pitching a Dino Crisis game. They wanted to do a Dino Crisis because that had just come out in around 99, 2000. And on a boat. And Capcom were so impressed that they said, okay, forget about this Dino Crisis thing. We're giving you Resident Evil. We're giving you the keys to the kingdom here. They canceled that prototype conversion that we've seen. They canceled at the point where it is... the prototype exists is what I mean to say. They canceled that conversion of Resident Evil to the Game Boy Color and instead greenlit M4's work. They left them to work largely independently aside from some, notes. I think Shinji Mikami basically said, hey, can we have first-person combat here? There's some notation in a book by the name of Itchy Tasty, an unofficial history of Resident Evil. That gets into some of the context behind this. Again, very scant details on the full development history of this game. But again, M4, the major takeaway is that M4 were largely left to their own devices to make decisions on their own. And as such, the decisions they made don't necessarily fall in with Resident Evil canon at this point. Hence why they got slapped with the Gaiden title. Gaiden, for those who don't know, is Japanese for side story, effectively, which is to say any sort of ancillary events or largely, in a lot of cases, non-canon events. So Capcom were willing to publish this, but they weren't willing to acknowledge it as, necessarily falling into the same timeline as the adventures they were working on.
Something I always used to wonder, for the longest time, was what is Ninja Gaiden supposed to be a side story for?
The Enter the Ninja movie franchise starring Richard Branson.
Yes. I found out later in life, so I stopped asking, but that was confusing at first. Also, it wasn't called, correct me if I'm wrong, this is a tangent I know, it wasn't called Ninja Gaiden in Japan, right? Johnny, you might know that, I think. I think
sounds right, but
I think the Gaiden was added when it came to America, which is weird because it's Americans aren't going to know the name of the Japanese title. Let's change it to something simple like Gaiden.
Yeah,
you know what that means.
Classic word no one loves so much.
Yeah, Ninja Ryokenden.
All right, so Resident Evil Ryokenden. Let's get started today.
Before we get started with the game, because we've certainly been dragging on the screen long enough, Sharky Stream Snack. Sorry, I don't have a clever lead into this. We just need to sort of get it out the way.
Chucky Stream Snack Gaiden side story. which is to say, for breakfast today, I'm having pagoda pork egg rolls and a Alani Nu Dream Floats, which is the orange creamsicle flavor. Now, this is normally the part of the show where I would hold it up to the mic and then open the can to take a drink of it. I am not going to do that because in between the pre-show ending and the part where I say, "Hey, Cass," I was running downstairs to get the drink and I ran back upstairs as fast as I can. So this drink is shook the hell up. So I'm definitely not opening it right now.
Shook up like we're shaking things up here on Twitch.tv, Bad Game Hall of Fame.
Folks, check out twitch.tv/Bad Game Hall of Fame sometime. Or if you're on YouTube, check out our YouTube channel. Anyway, Cass, what are you having tonight?
Oh, I got a Monster Energy here, and I got a green tea in Arizona tall can, in case I get a little dry mouth later in the show.
It's a tall can, so if you get a lot dry mouth, I guess. Johnny, what you having?
I got my coffee again. I got a mocha tonight. And in case I need it, I got a little oats and dark chocolate bar, a little healthy snack, and an apple.
Lovely.
You know, every time I don't mean to make fun of you for being not from America, but every time you talk about your coffee getting like a maca, like I'm thinking like money in Shin Megami Tensei.
I'm thinking
Like,
of
yeah,
macas from Australia, which is what they call McDonald's over there. So
anyway, now that I've made fun of the pronunciation of what I call mocha, that'll do it for Chucky Soup Snack.
So here's the thing. I called it that here in this country, and someone made fun of me when I said mocha.
Well,
So
the internet, the internet is American, so that's, you know.
Oh,
them's the rules. Them's the breaks.
never win.
Well, you can always win on here. We love you, Johnny.
Yeah, you can call it whatever you want here. I'll only make fun of you every other time.
You see, that's the
I'm supposed to be the
Bad Game
nice
Hall
one.
of Fame guarantee right there. 50% of the time. And that's better odds than you'll find elsewhere online, I think. Let's cut to that 4x3 screen. Let's get this game up and running. We're hoping to finish this in one episode. Long plays are about 2 hours, so maybe we'll run like 3 hours, 3.5, maybe.
Hey, isn't the long play for Highlander Last of the McClouds 2 hours?
Yeah, there's just
It
not
is.
much to this game compared to other games. Now, I see a first-time chat from Pigeon Bus in chat, thank you, who says, Resident Evil Gaiden has a lot of problems, but its music friggin' rules. So we're gonna let this title screen hang for a minute so we can hear some of this music in action. Coming soon, once it hits the title. Oh, that's that fire. Ooh. My tinnitus.
It is disarming.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Okay, there you go. That's more like
Yeah.
it.
All right.
Yeah, the music in this game is fine, but it gets a little too indulgent with some of the high-pitched, some of that sine wave action. Also, I feel like I may have talked over the title drop. So let this for posterity's sake, let's make sure we hear this. That's gotta be the worst Resident Evil drop in the history of these games. It is just some likely British guy muttering it under his breath.
Resident Evil.
Biohazard, I mean, Resident Evil.
Let's press start. Hey, look at these! Look at my wares. Look at my saves on all three.
Hey!
Pick and
I got
choose.
zombies here. Hey!
There's gonna be a lot of text in this game. We should probably pick some characters. Does anyone have a good Barry Burton in them?
A chill sandwich.
Close enough.
Look at this.
Better than I could do.
There we go.
But just take a look at this! So this game, being a non-canon game, does the exact plot of Resident Evil Revelations and having an underground organization form to do anti-Umbrella activities. I mean, I guess that's probably the plot to multiple Resident Evil games at this stage, but...
Yeah. Like, Neo Umbrella are good guys, right?
Yeah.
Or Blue Umbrella.
Yeah, the blue one. Yeah, sorry. Neo's from 6.
Stupid franchise. Love it to death.
It's like...
Dumb as fuck.
It's like if we had, like, an anti-terrorism unit called Green Al-Qaeda.
I'm glad we know this is happening at 2:30 in the a.m. That really helps set up that everyone's putting in long hours here at the BCAA. Reporting for duty.
Good to see you, Barry. I have a mission for you of the utmost urgency. A new type of bioorganic weapon developed at Umbrella Labs has escaped. This BOW is believed to be among the passengers of the, slip my tongue, luxury ocean cruiser, the Starlight. The new BOW is an extremely dangerous creature, even in its human form. Leon S. Kennedy of Raccoon City Police Department was tracking the BOW, but we have now lost contact with him. His last report came in over 24 hours ago.
That's the minimum amount of time necessary to report a missing person, so it's...
It reads, ow, ow, the BOW, ow, biting me, ow, ow.
Objective, locate Leon S. Kennedy and eliminate the BOW. Insertion, via helicopter. Location, the Starlight, currently cruising in the Atlantic. Extraction, via helicopter, deployed on receipt of radio transmission. Operative,
Snack.
Barry Burton.
Snacks, procure on site.
Good luck with your mission! This guy's gonna do a lot of talking, so, someone...
Barry, come in, over.
Copy, I read you, over.
Now, pay attention, Barry Burton. You are on the side deck, 2nd floor. Make your way west to the lobby to enter the ship. Look for useful items along the way. They may be hidden in boxes or other containers.
Take people's rooms, run through their shit.
Your alert icon will show when the item is nearby. You can then pick up this item. Good luck, Barry. Over and out.
So here we are. This is Barry Burton. Look at this. Shadows. Yeah. So rather than having flashing items in the world, you just have to walk up to stuff that looks like there might be an item there. And you'll get that exclamation point.
Really, Minty asks, is this a Game Boy Color game? Yeah, it is.
Locked. I'm just exploring right now.
This does almost have the look of something that would be one of those Capcom D-makes they did, like, in the early 2010s.
Oh, yeah, like the Bionic Commando Rearmed or whatever.
Oh, not even that. I mean, like... Dark,
like Mega Man 9.
Dark Void Zero.
Oh, right. So we're on a boat. Take a good hard look at the motherfucking boats. At all. Getting it out of our system. This is a game starring Barry Burton, who had not been seen since Resident Evil 3, and even then it was like in a single slide, in a slideshow at the end of the game. He would not feature again in Resident Evil until Resident Evil Revelations 2. I believe I'm correct in that. And Leon Scott Kennedy before Resident Evil 4. So this was the second appearance of one Leon Scott Kennedy in this franchise before they turned him into, you know, Super Agent Extreme. Before Resident Evil became self-parody at a certain point. So, you know, M4 for their part didn't have any idea what Capcom's aspirations for these characters were. So they're like, fuck it, we'll just take a stab.
Barry, be careful. We have detected hostiles in the lobby. If you need to use your targeting system to attack these hostiles. Once your target is activated, you can aim at these hostiles.
He's telling us how to use a gun.
When a range is... Yes.
He's just telling us how to use a gun. I mean, granted, he's telling us how to use the gun in the context of this game, which is a little unique. But Barry's a weapon specialist. Avoid conflict if you can.
Yeah.
Now, this is a golden rule of Resident Evil that if you can dodge a zombie. Spare yourself the ammo.
Yeah.
This is horrible advice in this game because zombies drop key items.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Will do. Over and out. All right, we're at a ship.
Yeah. Very Metal Gear to have someone on a call just be like, yes, these are the mechanics, press these buttons.
What in the name of what has happened to these people? They're not human anymore. And sure enough, they're not. We got zombies again. That red exclamation point means that a fight is imminent. So I'm going to go into targeting mode here. And here's combat. It's timing based. And we can loot corpses.
You just take the bullets out that you shot him with.
Reduce, reuse,
Waste.
recycle.
Yeah, waste not, want not.
You can also run
Why is
away
this
from
memo
fights.
here?
Because they're tutorializing us mid-game.
I know,
yeah.
it's been in lore. Why is it on this boat?
Well, Leon was here. He was leaving notes behind. He was trying to remember. It's his first day on the job at this new place, so...
Yeah, it's true.
I'm just looking for any loot. I have a vague idea, a vague memory of which direction we need to go in.
So if there's an exclamation mark on the screen, the red one, if you don't do anything for long enough, will we be thrust into battle?
Well, enemies will come closer to you. They will gravitate towards you and go into a grab state. I'll demonstrate it. And then you gotta wiggle free. And that'll make sure that when you start the fight, they're super close up. Now, you can see the timing here is tricky a little bit. Different weapons have different... what you call it?
Soul Stuff says they would have to check the manual, but says that red exclamation, if they recall correctly, means that a zombie has an item.
I'm not entirely sure about that. By the way, we can move left and right to sort of align the sights a bit. We'll get into the herbs in a minute. Oh. How much damage do we take for that? Not much. Okay, so what happens is, the word I was looking for is that they get closer. They're at close range, and the closer they are, the easier it is to hit them because the reticle expands. So it's a novel idea. The attempt was made here. In execution, it can be a little tedious with just how many fights you need to get into in the course of the game. We do have some direction here, so we're not just completely stumbling around in the dark here. Make your way to the security room. Maybe you can locate Leon with the security cameras. Okay, I'll make contact when I get there. Over and out. And if we need to, starts our map. Select, we have a PDA, which will remind us of our objective at any moment in time, which is actually very nice of them. That's actually very handy and considerate of them to do. Hey, look, it's an inventory. We have yellow herbs.
Whoa.
So we can start expanding our health bar straight away, right? Not quite.
So I looked it up in the manual. A red exclamation mark does mean an enemy nearby has an item.
Yes, which, I guess that does help you in the sense that there are certain fights you know you can skip, but I don't know. I feel like the red exclamation point was appearing from most of those zombies, and not all of them had items, so I'm not sure.
I think since it says an enemy is nearby, I think it just means there's someone in that room with you.
Can I get both these? I think we're about to run out of ammo, which is going to be a problem. Okay, which means that we need to switch to our knife.
Yeah, one thing I do remember hearing about this game is that you'll more often than not be using a knife. Oh! And yeah, I'll say, and this is follow up on what Sheena Summer was saying in chat. I guess the idea that it's hard to make tiny sprites scary, so the combat system is based around adding some first-person close-up. That is a great point, and I do think the sprite work on this is really nice, especially what we've seen so
Yes.
far. Because yeah, you could have just done a kind of Resident Evil style combat entirely top down, but yeah, you would have just had these very tiny sprites.
See Alone in the Dark: A New Nightmare on Game Boy
Yeah.
Color.
Oh yeah,
Also, is there no bespoke attack animation for the zombies?
I know they have like they claw at you.
yeah.
Because I saw your health going down. And
That's
they weren't-
because they were doing an attack.
Okay. I was just kind of like expecting something more like a very obvious, like, swipe or something at you while they were this close.
yeah,
That's
like-
the attack right there.
yeah.
Oh, that's more subtle than I would have
It
expected.
is, yeah.
Now, bear in mind, all we have is the knife right now, but I can access my inventory mid-fight to heal up a little bit. And also remember, the knife can only attack at close range, so even when they're further away and we see the bar there, it doesn't actually matter until this distance.
Yeah.
Is that inventory menu in real time?
Yes. Oh, thank God.
I think I remember hearing about this game. This is kind of piggybacking off of what Johnny said. That there is like a lot of ammo scarcity.
From the shadows. If I was better at the timing here, if I could hit the crits consistently, it wouldn't be as much of a problem. That'll come with practice. That'll come with getting my sea legs back.
It would be better if all the zombies were synced to the music, right?
Yeah, they made a rhythm game out of this. You do not have the shotgun, you cannot collect this ammunition. So I can't even carry shotgun shells on me in anticipation of getting the shotgun. I just have to...
Yeah, that's a
Well,
bit bullshit.
Well, I don't have a shotgun right now, so obviously I'll never have.
Yeah, that's a little frustrating. That's a little unnecessary in my eyes.
I mean, I guess if it were to me, going to the grocery store and I saw some shotgun shells on the ground, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, cool, free shotgun shells."
But what if
Now,
you were
am I
dealing
on a
with
boat
zombie?
surrounded by zombies?
Yeah.
Yeah. What now? Am I on a boat surrounded by zombies as part of a special task force to go out and kill BOWs? No, I'm not. But I just assume I'll act the exact same way.
Oh, they went right for the attack as soon as they got close.
Yeah.
Nothing. Gotta take a wicked piss. I bet there's handgun ammo here. Yep. Fuck! My kingdom for that shotgun. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but the music shifts in tone. And that's not just a song. I think there is some amount of dynamic music or an attempt at it based on the proximity of zombies to you.
Huh.
That might be complete misremembrance, or that might be apocrypha, or me parroting.
It does seem like the tempo is getting faster. Yeah, there's maybe like one or two instruments added to it, or probably one instrument added to it.
Here we go. App, and they baited me. Zombies will do that a lot in this game.
Oh wow.
Yep, you
Yeah,
gotta... Listen, if you don't burn them, they'll turn into crimson heads.
Yeah, this might predate Crimson Heads.
Well, this does predate Crimson Heads, but that's not what they're going
Yeah.
for. They're just going
Yeah.
for, like, they're not actually dead in the first place. They're not, like, powered up.
Oh yeah, but that's the closest I could think of the first Resident Evil game doing that. Like enemies going down and then getting back up is quick enough that it's not really tricking you.
Poison zombies, by the way. Blue and purple herbs will heal that. So there's no herb combining in this game. Another golden rule of Resident Evil broken here. Instead, different herbs represent different amounts. So green is the minimal heal, yellow is a medium heal, and red is a full heal. Blue is partial heal and poison. Purple is full heal and poison.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. There we go. So the thing I'm curious about then, with some of the system, does this actually have any inventory management?
No, I think you just have infinite ammo, infinite slots.
Ah, okay.
Mercifully. Let me shoot from around this corner.
Yeah, it does sound like the bass channel and the drum channel is tied to what's going on. Which, yeah, that's really impressive for a Game Boy game.
I like the fact that there's looting. I think that's a fun mechanic to put in this. Oh, thank God. Okay. Let's run back, get that shotgun ammo. So we can actually have, like...
You look at the shotgun and you're like, I don't have any shotgun ammo, so there's no point in picking this up.
God, the worst catch-22.
Kind of a random... Like, where was that exactly? Just on the side?
Yeah, you would have... it's immiscible. It's entirely missable.
Yeah.
So... Actually, forget what I was going to say.
All right, forgotten. Filed away. Let's check the map real quick. Yeah, so those doors to the north, those two yellow things there, I don't think those are actually doors we can go through, right? Weren't those just like darkened alleys, or were those actual locked doors?
They were locked, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, also, where are we? We are missing that bit of info. You do have to just kind of piece that together,
well,
which
I know
is fine.
roughly where we are.
At least
like,
it highlights the
there,
thing.
yeah.
At least we have an idea, so it could be a lot worse.
And,
I mean,
you know,
you're also... It's also not like you're in a huge open area right now.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. I am your singing telegram. There we go. Poor lady.
Also, just having this perspective is locked as well. Like, I think of the difference between that and fucking Blue Stinner.
Oh, yeah.
It makes it... You know, having a fixed perspective is a... Turns out it's a positive. Who'd have thought?
Had to double tap that sucker. But they didn't leave us much choice, did they? Struggle by trying to move. Yep. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Now, I have to remember... Right, so they don't tell you if you have the correct key for a door.
Yeah. That's... Yeah, Capcom did
Also,
kind of leave them on their own, yeah.
That door is also kind of not clearly an elevator.
No, it certainly wasn't. I think we actually have more use for, or something else we can do on this floor before we go up. You notice that they use the progress point as a save point, by the way. They use the elevator as a means of... so which one of these goes into that, I don't know the ship words.
Nope.
There was like a common area here that I think I skipped over earlier where I could have, I think I could take the fuse into a kitchen. Something along those lines. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I should. This better be worth it. It'll probably be more handgun ammo. Because they don't tell you whether it's a critical item or not, is the thing. There's no way to delineate that.
Yeah. It was subtle, but the zombie did start turned away because you, that's how you started the encounter. That's cool.
You okay, lady?
Hello, ladies.
What's over here? Well,
gun.
spoiler alerts, we're going to get a grenade gun at some point. Wow, well, way to bury it.
I don't think I've ever heard that term before. Grenade gun.
I was gonna say earlier, like, I was hoping that you'd find, like, all these things around, like, you don't have the rocket launchers, you can't pick up this ammo, and then there's never a rocket launcher in this game.
You don't have the nuclear missile launcher yet, so you can't pick up this tactical nuke. There may not be anything in this area yet.
You don't have the Daikatana yet, so you can't pick up this sword polish.
A grubby key. Okay.
Filthy grubby key.
A Canadian alligator, by the way, pointing out that Devil May Cry 1 calls its grenade launcher a grenade gun.
Okay. I didn't remember that, thank you.
I'm gonna bet... Yep. Sure enough.
Finally, a good meal. Alright, get up, lazy bones. Give me some food.
Are those ovens okay?
I'm gonna assume not. Let me inspect. No, nothing I can do to inspect here? Well, how about this?
What is that thing? Oh.
A heavy-duty electrical fuse used for the coolant system in the refrigerator room on the first floor. So here.
Just right into the door.
Huh?
Or that's not it. Yep, right into the door. That's how they lock it with a fuse.
So this is a problem.
Was bad.
That is absolutely a fucking problem. The way in which they expect you to problem solve with doors. It's like fucking Metal Gear on MSX NES, where you're having to just go through every single key card in your inventory to, figure out what works on what. But we needed to do it. We absolutely needed to come here. We absolutely needed that key.
Yeah. And that item description did not make me think that was used to open the door. I thought you were going to come in this room and use it somewhere.
So I feel like that would probably keep a lot of players from progressing. I can very realistically imagine players confronted with that, one of the very first puzzles in this game, and just having no idea of how to progress, how to open like these doors, even know that these doors exist and the things that can't be opened.
And there wasn't text saying this is a locked door.
Yeah, that's all they needed to do to solve that, was to have you to be able to inspect things, to say, like, this is what this is what this corresponds to, or this needs a key, or what have you. But, I guess that was beyond M4. For that reason, I am going to have one of you pull up a guide. Don't just start reading the guide. Wait for me to ask for help, please. Yeah. But, I think it won't hurt to have that in the background if we're overlooking some progression point at some point or another. Just for the sake of finishing this in one. Now we're headed back to... Oh wait, yeah, okay, this elevator here. This takes us to the 4th floor, I believe. If I press start, will it indicate as much to me? No, the 3rd floor. Well, there's a staircase there, so perhaps there is a way. I can assume that guy has no item on him. But this guy does.
It actually might be the guy behind you, but we'll see.
Well, I think they'll all get proximity in on this there.
There you go. I mean, that's an interesting way of doing it, too, that, like... enemies around you in a certain proximity are part of the battle if you initiate it.
Yeah, and they'll be at a distance, so you can get some early shots on them.
So this something is trafficking good ideas, at the very least.
Excuse me.
Anything down? So we can go down again here. I guess that's the elevator from the other side, the one that we saved in. So I guess I could have... either one would have worked in that instance, but we gotta go up.
So, I almost assumed from how you described it earlier that every elevator would be a save, but I guess not.
No, I think it's like... there are, like, specific checkpoints here. I know this is a different type of enemy, slightly. The security room will probably be locked. I may need a key for it. If only I had the Master of Unlocking with me, etc., etc.
I may need a key, or a fuse, either or.
I know these enemies hit for a lot, because they carry crowbars on them. Woof. Woof. There we go.
I would like to... maybe for 15 to 20 seconds, see a task of this game. Just to see, like, what it looks like to kick ass at the timing. Like, just absolutely wreck shit.
Looks like that.
Yeah. I'd see it like that, and then I'd be like, oh, that's cool looking, and then I can stop watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Something... I don't know if it is the case. It looked like it. With the knife, when they're close enough, it looked like you could even get multiple attacks off in the same, like, attack bar.
Possibly. This is gonna be tough. I'm gonna have to be crackerjacking my timing here to not get absolutely decimated by these crowbars.
There you
go.
Never
Never mind. I isolated them.
Good enough.
Neither of these guys even has an item for me to pick up, so I can... Oh!
Mm-hmm.
Triggered proximity.
I feel like that sweet spot should get bigger the closer they get to you.
Oh, He's not dead yet.
I mean, like the whole of the gauge does get bigger as they get closer to you, but I feel like that center like crit spot could also be bigger.
Yeah, the game should be more fair. But, you know, if you're popping headshots is what that's meant to be, you know, and the headshot's a tricky thing. It's not the most intuitive thing, so I guess it does need to be somewhat challenging. I mean, you're still damaging them, right? Even if you're hitting outside of that.
You know, maybe this is a game you can recommend to people who play Expedition 33.
Is that game timing based? I don't know. I don't play video games.
There's a lot of timing based stuff in every combat encounter.
Yeah, I had a hunch.
She's chatty today.
They're really trying with those voice samples.
Not hard enough. Nah, it's fine. It's impressive to have sampled speech. Let's talk about the Game Boy Color for a minute and how there's not a lot of good games for it. For the Game Boy.
I like the Game Boy. I like the Game Boy Color. Like, Pokemon Pinball is great.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I was going to
Kirby
mention
games.
Metal Gear Solid, also known as Metal Gear Ghost Babel, which is its own Gaiden-type adventure, being that it takes place in an alternate post-Metal Gear 1 universe, where the events of Metal Gear 2 and actual Metal Gear Solid never happen, but still tells a pretty interesting story by my personal estimation, and does a pretty good job translating the MSX style of gameplay to that platform. And that would have come out before this or after this? I guess
I'm going to say before, because this was a pretty late title.
Well, this is 2001, 2002 in most of the world, but 2001 in Europe.
Yeah, but it was, for example, it's mentioned on the Wikipedia page for this that they were considering moving this over to Game Boy Advance. So that shows you how late this was. I wonder if that did actually contribute to the reception
of it in some capacity.
Yeah, as unfair as that is, in my opinion, when that happens.
Gator in chat says there's a pretty good Astro Boy game for that. Are you thinking of Game Boy Advance? Because that's where Omega Factor was.
There.
I think it's more with the Game Boy Color. It's the ratio. Like, yeah, you can pick out a decent library of good games, but when you actually look at the overall library, and most of the library is, oh yeah, make a handheld conversion of this game. Is it a game that could make a handheld version of? That doesn't matter. Do it anyway.
I think that's the problem with a console that had an active lifespan for like over a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was primitive even when it came out. Yes. When it first released in '89, compared to its contemporaries, it was the weakest, but it had the most battery life, and that was really all that mattered.
And price as well probably helped.
Yeah.
Over stuff like Atari Lynx, which was the same year.
But full color and wider resolution and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and you could play in lefty mode.
I wasn't even looking for it, but I happened to find the date on Metal Gear Solid Ghost Babel. That was May 5th, 2000.
And I will say, that game absolutely eats this game's lunch in terms of tech, in terms of depth of gameplay, in terms of, like, intuitiveness, of, like, figuring out progression. But, you know, I don't know how fair a comparison is. Actually, no, it's a completely fair comparison. Capcom could have contracted this game out to anyone. They went with the Brits for it. They went with, like, an outside studio.
Ghost Babel was Tosei, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And in their finest hour, potentially. Tosei, who had worked on Resident Evil games, including the Gun Survivor games.
Tosei had worked on almost every game that ever came out.
That's also fair to say.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, I found some armor. Armor mechanic in this game. You see that little shield next to our health bar? Now it's full.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'll reduce incoming damage. So I wanted to... I knew it was somewhere around here. So I wanted to make sure we grabbed that before we proceeded. We also got a rope, a key card, and a key. So we're sitting pretty on plenty of inventory. Is this 5th floor we're on now? No, that's... Okay, stairs down. It's hard to tell which stairs go up, which stairs go down.
Yeah.
Wait, these both go down? Which means these both go up? Okay, guys, we only have 4 levels to worry about here. Which means we gotta stay here and find the door that the key card and or key opens. Which I'm sure will be something around here. Probably on this end of the ship.
Well, the fuse went into the door, so I assume the key goes into the pool.
Yes, we have to unlock the grate at the bottom to drain the water, which reveals the secret door. This is an umbrella boat.
I mean, there's gonna be a secret lab on this boat, right?
It remains to be seen. Can't use. Can't use. Oh, the bar room, of course. I don't love the way the voice samples overwrite the music. That's a little fucking sloppy. Yeah. I do like the way that they get caught on the environment, which makes my life a little easier. Unfortunately, I gotta turn around and kill that guy now.
Yeah, I think it's the one below you has the item.
Yeah, that parses.
Oh, he's close.
It's finicky, because you hold down the B button to bring up the targeting reticule, right?
Yeah.
But if you have to let go of it to actually initiate the encounter. As you can see here, I'm going to pick up this item first, obviously, and then I'm going to go into... Oh, well, son of a bitch. If I let go of the D-pad, it resets...
Oh, it retreats?
Yeah, so it's constantly in a state of flux. It's, like, constantly moving, which means that if I let go of it, and it's retracting, and it gets off of the zombie, then I just don't initiate the encounter like I'm intending to.
You don't, like, waste a shot, though, right?
You don't waste a shot, but you do waste precious time that the enemy uses to close in on you. Which can be just as bad. Anything down here? The other thing about not having shining items in the environment means that I have to just grind up against anything and everything.
Yeah. And I feel like you could have done that in some way.
Yeah, you could have just had like a sparkle.
Right.
It wouldn't have been impossible.
So the game does have, when you're right up on something that has an item, it has that green exclamation mark. It could have done a thing like with the zombies where if you're in the vicinity of an item, there could have been an exclamation mark. Yeah. And then when you're up on the thing, maybe it just changes color.
Like a hot or cold, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, all the...
let's go back to 2000 and like give some advice here.
Yeah. They could use it.
Or the thing that some Resident Evil games do, and then some others don't, where the map will color rooms depending on if you've cleared the items out or not.
I don't know if this game necessarily does that, or is capable of doing that with how the zombies can have items on them.
Yeah.
Do zombies respawn, by the way, if you leave an area and come back?
I think partially they do. I think some zombies do. So an area is never fully, truly cleared, which can be a bit of a frustration in and of itself. Let's check these doors.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm just examining.
Because I wanted to bring up, because it's related to, you know, Capcom leaving M4 to their own devices and not matching up Resident Evil stuff at the time. This also would have bound to been the era of the peak of when Capcom had 3-4 teams and studios at a time working on games and not really Resident Evil games are not communicating anyway. So even when it came to the the official in-house ones, there would always be weird inconsistencies about like what mechanics or advancements would carry over through the series.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Like you play one game, it's like, oh, this one will highlight certain coloured locked doors on the map, and then this one won't. Or this one will let you use the stairs manually, and this one doesn't. And it's so, and you can tell that it's like, oh yeah, these teams weren't really communicating or working with like a unified, like view or vision. Vision's the word, yeah.
Did you see what the other teams were working on? No, I didn't. I took a look in their office. They put zombies in their game. Zombies? We did zombies. We did zombies. I know. God, it's too late for us to change now.
Well, one of us is gonna have to. I'm in hell, trying to figure out what door is meant to open at this point, if any.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not great they don't actually have a different icon for doors that are locked either.
Johnny, you got the guide? Or
Yeah, it might already be time.
Yeah, I think I've got a good one. Okay, so...
What keys do you have right now, by the way? Or, like, what are they called?
He unlocks
there's your
security room
objective.
Floor.
Oh, here we go, yeah.
I have
show me
the
your
security
objective again.
card, and I have the crew area key. The objective is find the key to unlock the security room on 4th floor and use security cameras.
Yeah.
If I inspect these, gain access to the security room on floor 4. Now, all we need to do is find that fucking room, and the crew area key, this is on 2 floor. Okay, so we don't need to use that key. We can at least process eliminate that, and figure out that it's...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, this door just opens.
You got to keep
Never
the control
mind,
room.
Johnny. Okay,
Nope.
I
I
assume
just-
this door
I
was
just
locked.
found
I'm
it.
stupid, yeah.
Yeah.
I just found it too. Yeah. Just for in case we need
Save it for a rainy day. Save it for... I'm sure we'll stumble onto something unsolvable.
Yeah. That's the one I'm using because they actually marked kind of chapter points.
I said at the top of the show, but I really do want to try out You'll Die Here tonight. Because that game is one of these where it is a survival horror of zombies. It's played in this top-down kind of perspective. But when you get into combat, it is first person aiming at zombies. Although in that one, you actually aim your gun and not play like that timing minigame thing. I tried playing it, but I was playing it in a Discord call.
Ugh. Sorry.
And I couldn't, like, absorb any information during the tutorial because everyone was talking.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Well, I guess that's the problem with, like, playing a whole bunch of games at the same time, and it's, like, starting and dropping ones. It's like, you just cannot contain all that information.
Here we go.
Like, when I was playing Night Rain on the stream last night for our Casual Mondays, which you can check out on the Twitch VODs or on our Patreon, I kept pressing the wrong-ass buttons to attack because I was trying to play it like Monster Hunter. And, like, I was just hitting Y to attack. The Y button does nothing. The Y button is a modifier button. So I would just be standing there and not doing anything because I'm not hitting the Dark Souls button to attack.
All right.
Yeah, switching between games is tough.
It's a living. Okay, do we want to go down, though? I thought we were trying to find the security office on this 4th floor. But now we're just fucking off. And going back down to what floor? 3rd floor.
Maybe you gotta find a separate wing of the 4th floor that is accessible from below? I'm not saying that's the answer, I'm just saying that's maybe why we're going down.
You might be onto something there.
Are these the no, these aren't the poison ones, right?
They might be.
The poison ones.
Oh, you know where you found the rope?
Yeah?
That's the area where you use the security card.
Really? What would have been there? Huh. Well, at least I know.
Yeah.
Where was... Clearly the rope was on the 4th floor, but... I don't exactly remember where we got it.
That was on the... It was on the deck.
Yeah,
So if I look at the map here, I can... Oh, you know, it's probably going to be that big red area, right? That's, if I had to hazard a guess.
You know what? That's... I that's on me for not thinking of that sooner. Me, the let's check the map host.
Yeah, we finally get a game with a functional map, and... And off we go. I should probably switch to shotgun, assuming I have. Yeah, plenty of shells. I'm not digging this music, I'll be honest. It can be fine in spots, but generally speaking, not enamored by this. For being true.
I think when
I
it,
think
like,
it's-
it picks up, it's good. When it's just
Yeah.
the one channel, it's a little
Yeah, when it's
bits and boots.
when it's your safe music and it's just like dun 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 dun. Yeah, not so great.
Alright, this is gonna be...
The security card.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's easy to forget. Before we check the cameras, let's check everything and anything else. Oh, no,
That's
hold
the
on. Yeah, nothing. Unfortunate. Okay. I guess let's check the camera then. What can I do with this hunk of junk? Barry searches
Barry
through the switch-
searches.
Oh, you go ahead, you go ahead.
Barry searches through the switches on the control console to activate it.
Wait a minute. This doesn't look like one of those creatures.
This looks like a boat.
Hey, listen up. Can you hear me? Someone's gotta do...
Is that you?
Huh? You know Leon?
Who are you?
I'm Special Agent Barry Burton. I'm a friend of Leon's.
I'm Lucia. Leon went off to fight the horrible monster that's turning everybody into Dracula's zombies. Leon rescued me and told me to wait here until he gets back.
Where is Leon right now?
I don't know. He left here ages ago. I'm scared. I keep hearing noises.
This voice is slowly turning into ancient Roman guy.
Oh no, you have to help me. I think it's that monster banging on the door. He's here. Please help me.
Don't panic. Calm down. Just tell me where you are.
I'm on the sun deck. Hurry. That door isn't gonna hold for much longer.
Hold on. I'm on my way. Sundeck.
Time to find the buffet. I'm starving.
So you gave us another save. I thought I just heard a scream. It seemed to be coming from the east. Is it
That's
you,
where
lady?
the sun rises.
I can't get into the pool.
Yeah, well, 0 out of 10. Not enough
And this
swimming.
party's dead anyway, so, like, you know.
I've been going swimming more often since the place I'm living at has a pool on the top floor. I've been trying to get some swimming in. I miss it. I used to be a really good swimmer. I used to be, like, to swim for speed. Not so much these days anymore, not since I've let that skill lapse, but it's just good to get back in the water.
I don't think I've been proper swimming in, like, 20 years. If not more.
Yeah.
There's that scream again. This time I know it's Lucia. She must be really close.
I think like maybe a decade, if not a little bit more than a decade ago, I actually did get in a pool. I was like, well, I don't know really remember how to swim, but I can probably still float. And I was like, actually, no, floating apparently is harder than I remember.
I can hear Lucia. She's on the other side of this door. There she is.
Barry reaches the sun deck. From the edge of the shadows, he can see something hideous and large chasing towards Lucia. It's his own reflection in the mirror.
Help me. Keep it away from me.
Love this art.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
If that's the BOW, this is my lucky day.
What's up? I need a spotter. Somebody, you'll help me out.
Damn. So.
Sweet mother of... I spoke too soon.
Ah! Get it off of me!
I can't do too high of a scream because Discord will destroy it.
So good job protecting her, Barry. I thought you were in front of her.
Why I oughta...
Put up your dukes.
Starting to look like a punch-out enemy there.
The BOW dissolves into an amoeba-like form. Then it disappears rapidly into the shadows.
That thing just vanished.
I'm glad it has finally gone. It was horrible.
Her age seems to be fluctuating between, like, 5 and 50 in this art.
Are you hurt? Let me see your arm. What the? Not a scratch. I could have sworn he'd hurt you.
No, he's actually a gentleman. I was lucky, wasn't I?
Yeah. I guess you were. But let's not push that luck, okay? Stay close. That thing might still be around.
No, he's gone.
What makes you so sure of that?
I don't know. I just feel it.
Right.
What is it? Something wrong?
I'm just going full on ancient Roman now.
That's fine. No, nothing. Come on, let's go find Leon. And now we have a second, hold on. Second party member.
Oh, give her a gun.
Oh wait, no, hold on. Gotta remember how to do this. There is a way to equip her.
You need to go up.
No. Okay, B.
Okay.
Or A, I don't remember Nintendo A, Nintendo B.
Wait. How will this work? Having two people...
I think you can switch between them in a fight. So let's say Lucia has the knife. Barry has the shotgun. I can use the shotgun at long range, and when the enemies close in, I can switch to Lucia with the knife. And then conserve ammo at that point, is the idea of it.
So it's just basically a way to prevent you from having to go into the menu to switch your weapons.
Yes, but it's also someone else we have to look out for at all times now.
That was you, Johnny, I think.
Yep. Sorry. Barry, do you copy? Barry, do you copy? Over.
Copy, over.
Well, we lost you. What's going on out there?
I found a survivor, and I'm pretty certain I've located the BOW. It took everything I threw at it, but then it vanished.
Unlucky about the BOW. However, we have news on Leon. We have unscrambled Leon's last message.
It says, "Ah!"
We believe he is somewhere in the first-class cabin area.
Thanks for the update. Over and out.
Why don't we take the lift down? It'd be a lot quicker.
I don't want to walk down the stairs.
Lazy bones.
And my legs hurt.
Leg Dave was rough.
Back to the third floor. Looks like the door to first class is locked.
If it helps, I have a key to second class.
Okay, let's go to second class and give that a try instead. We may find something of use there.
Leon, are you in here? No, because you're in first class? Whoa, looks like your idea sucked, Lucia.
You dumb... oh, hold on.
Dumb little kid. You little bastard.
I'm just gonna use the knife. And that means that she also takes damage. So, Lucia, you're gonna have to pull your weight around here. You're gonna have to tank for us for a little bit, sad to say. Until I find some damn ammo.
Do characters do different amounts of damage?
No, I think it's just purely based on the weapon. I don't think they are that granular with it. Probably for the best. That would be really fucking annoying to consider, to have to manage for.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask a different question then. Do they have different, like, degrees of health? Like, does Lucia have less health in general than Barry? Or are they just
I
kinda
don't think
equal?
so. I think that would be really annoying too, truth be told.
Hmm.
Also that's what the armor is for. The armor kind of negates that because, you can just use that to take percentages off of your damage.
Oh, look at that zombie going through doors too.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Just die.
Oh.
Fuck. Oh, well. Thanks for listening, I guess. Oh, this is going to suck. Oh, nope. I actually cancel its animation. I cancel its attack.
So since
Hey, look at
you're
that.
out of all gun ammo, does that mean Lucia is the only one who can fight right now, or whoever has the knife is the only one who can fight right now?
Yes.
All
Survival
right,
horror,
follow-up
folks.
question.
Yeah.
Follow-up question. Is it only the person who is currently selected who would take damage from an attack?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess it would behoove you, in the case of, like, when you only have the knife, to give it to whoever has the most health, right?
Yeah,
best
if I
armor
wanted to
or
really
whatever.
micromanage. I'm not sure what we expect to find on the second floor, by the way. Or not second floor, this second class. Can I bait this guy? I really don't want to fight if I can help it. A good set of lockpick heal. Oh, of course, the second class passengers, the not first class, they gotta lockpick their way around. They're all crooks and criminals.
God, you don't even want to know what they have down in third class.
Yeah, let's check every room here in the vain hope of finding some more damn ammo. We have healing for
Jill,
days.
where are you? Jill, I found a lockpicking toolkit and I don't know how to use it.
I wish Jill were here. I do wish Jill were
Her,
here.
the master of getting shit open.
That's her nickname. Don't wear it out.
It's a little cheesy fan service, but I do like the writing in Revelations 2 that Barry just constantly retells the story of Resident Evil 1 to his kids, which includes all his quips.
Wasn't
Like,
I
yes, the
funny when I
bench-
said... that's actually fucked up, though. I was actually thinking about this earlier today because I knew we were going to play this game. Semtex? Jesus Christ, these second-class passengers really are just criminal element. If Resident Evil Revelations 2 considers Resident Evil Remake to be canon, Barry doesn't say Jill Sandwich in Resident Evil Remake. He says you would have fit nicely between two slices of bread. So they fucked up.
Well, maybe it doesn't then. Maybe it doesn't consider remake canon.
Maybe it considers Umbrella Chronicles canon.
The funny thing is I actually do think that is the version that Capcom uses as canon.
It is
'Cause
at
it's
this
the one
point.
with-
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got the singular timeline. You don't have to, because the two character stuff in Resident Evil 1 and 2 doesn't actually make sense. Even
Not
in
if you
2,
think
when
about it,
I'm
yeah.
trying to slide it together.
You know, I remember, though, that scene in Revelations. I'm not saying up a joke. This is, like, actually going off of what Johnny was saying. Where, when you're playing as Claire and, Moira? That's her
Yeah,
name, right?
Moira is
Barry's daughter.
yeah.
And, like, Claire almost gets killed, and, like, Claire says, like, I was almost a Claire sandwich. And Moira says, does Dad tell everyone that story? Guess we should play more Revelations. We played, like, the first chapter, I think. Of both
Revelations
characters.
2, you mean?
Revelations 2, yeah.
Yeah, we should. I'd be down for that. We have a lot of games we've been meaning to get to, but
Yeah, Spelunky Party. You Need to Buy
Spelunker
Night
Party.
Rain.
You call it Spelunky
Spelunker
Party, which
parties.
implies the existence of a co-op
Yeah.
Spelunky game.
I mean, they are co-op, but yeah, you're right.
Not till they call it party, not in my books. Just the useless room. I could do without some of the ancillary rooms here, the ones that just have nothing in them. I get that you need them for some amount of realism, but I kind of miss just how every room in like original Resident Evil had a purpose. Even if it didn't have a lot of purpose, it had a purpose. Something unique, something distinguishing, something to be like,
Yeah.
This is the weird-ass eagle room, the eagle statue room, where we house our eagle statue. Every house has one. Can't use that, of course.
Paul S mentioning that there was an old sound edit that made everything in Resident Evil 1 sound sexual. Yeah, I know that exact edit.
Oh,
That's just
I
the
do
audio
too.
clips.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's included in a mod for Resident Evil Survivor.
Yeah. Use this.
God, come on, buddy. Come on. Just let's go. Let's bait. Let's dance. Come on. It is hard to lure zombies in this, harder than in a real ass Resident Evil. Fine.
He's not into it. Speaking of Revelations 2, you think they're ever gonna actually follow up on the plot thread at the end of that game?
Nope.
Because yeah, that game ends on like a massive cliffhanger if you get the good ending.
Oh, of Rev 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, that no, I have a feeling that they're gonna consider that as non-canon as possible.
It's like, yeah.
Unless there's a
Assault rifle.
Revelations 3.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God, some more ammo we can actually put in a gun. I think there might be a zombie in the shadows there. There we go. I do like the lighting system. As hacked together as it is, and for as little as it actually seems to like matter, it's still like a fun touch that indicates that they were, you know, making an attempt here.
Game Boy Color on par with the Sega Saturn.
There we go, lucky headshot pop.
So we mentioned that cancelled conversion in Resident Evil 1 for the Game Boy Color at the top. And, you know, like I want to say it's like roughly 89% complete, the prototypes are out there.
Yeah, there's like no system for like actually dying or like properly managing like ammo inventory, but there is a lot of the screens in the game are converted, have the geometry intact. You can progress a significant amount.
Yeah, so you know, there's a lot of kind of filling in the blanks here we'd have to do here. But ultimately, do you think this was the better game to release? As you know, because I'll say for that Resident Evil 1 conversion, it is impressive. I don't know if it necessarily works, but it is impressive what that manages to do.
Yes, it's completely unnecessary though. At that point, I mean, what would the world have benefited from? It would have been a neat little tech piece, but you know, at that point there wasn't a lot of cachet in playing Resident Evil 1 for the what would have been the second time. I mean, Resident Evil 1 would go on, of course, to be remade and reconverted multiple times over. Deadly Silence on the DS.
Yep.
And also, you know, I think that Game Boy Color, for as neat as that conversion is, and I've played it, what exists of it. Can I use this? What does the game want me to...
What is that thing again?
A key, second-class cabins on 3rd floor. Look for a key to the first-class cabins. I wonder if it's straight up the one door I missed. The one door that had the crowbar zombie in front of it.
Sorry, I've already forgotten, but what is the thing under the lockpick in your inventory?
Semtex.
Semtex, okay.
Yeah, so anyway, that conversion, it's clunky. The idea of, like, it had, like, a cool scaling algorithm for what it's worth if you're into, like, you know, the technical details of getting, like, a pseudo 3D game to work on the Game Boy Color, but is it actually playable? Does it actually look good in action? No, it actually looks pretty bad. It actually plays pretty bad. It's cool that it exists. It's a neat technical curio, but my god, it would not have amounted into anything, like, even remotely, like, playable, is the honest truth of it.
Yeah, this seems like something... Gaiden here looks like something better suited for being played on the Game Boy.
Oh, most certainly.
Semtex? Blow it the fuck up?
This is so annoying, Johnny.
Yeah, I'm reading. Yeah, and light armor. At the door on the top left, use the lockpick to open it.
Thank you. Again, if they just, like, labeled these doors in any sort of way...
Well, I'll never need this again.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of goodies in this room.
There we go. Oh, yes. Slightly tricky to aim. Which just means it has a really tiny area of effect. It means I can pick up this ammo finally.
Yeah, and I'll say quickly last thing on that Resident Evil 1 Game Boy Color prototype that though the perspective stuff is interesting, there are some cases where the game doesn't know how to scale the sprite and what perspective to use, so you'll just get some weird, like, oh, this is like a top-down view, even though the camera's not top-down, and weird stuff like that.
I think the neatest thing about that Game Boy Color prototype, the thing, is that if you linger on the title screen, it does a slideshow of all the screens in the game, so you can see them all in that style. Hold on. One of the second-class cabins... Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm stupid. Hold on. This isn't a key to the door that we need, it's...
Oh, it's a key to another room in the same... Okay. Well, don't forget to pick up that ammo outside.
Yes, yes.
Also, in case we get more dialogue, I have to step away for a minute, so I'll be right back.
Whoops, because we're about to get more dialogue.
Oh, wait, well, okay. I'll hold for a sec.
Yeah, after we go in here... A really useful guide on this one. They're very descriptive about triggers and events.
First-class cabins on 3rd floor. Okay, so there we go. If I had read carefully, I could have figured that out. I mean, they are... Oh. Now we have the first-class cabin's key. We can go look for Leon.
Great, I'll follow you there.
Hey!
And save. I would say go run for it. I mean, surely there can't be a whole bunch of dialogue in the next, like, couple minutes. Surely we can't be meeting Leon Scott Kennedy soon. The deuteragonist of this game. Because, you know, it's been an hour, we haven't seen him yet. Alright, if this key doesn't open this door, I'll flip. Oh!
Oh. What does that mean?
Oh!
Wait! I think there's a monster! He's somewhere around here! Oh, jeez.
Huh? Where?
I can't pinpoint his location, but he's definitely nearby.
Oh, sick.
Hey!
Just like a video game. Okay, let's switch to that assault rifle.
Oh.
Hey, Lucia, what's going on? How did you know that thing would be here?
I told you. I can feel its presence.
Right. I'd like to believe you. But I got this feeling there's something you're not telling me.
I can still really feel it. It's really close.
Sorry, I had something in my throat. I said it's really close.
No.
It's like Full House, where they have the Olsen twins play the same character.
Yeah.
That thing just grabbed Lucia. I guess we won't have that radar ability much longer. Then vanished.
I like he paused for dramatic tension there.
He's nothing if not someone with a flair for the dramatic. I'm reading him as dry as possible to try and emulate the Resident Evil 1 Barry that I know and love. One of the greatest performances in all video games. They did eventually find that guy, right? I know they found the original voice actor, or no, not the voice actor, the motion caption, the live action actor for Wesker.
There's videos of those live action actors like all together.
Oh hell yes!
Since
the live action Wesker is particularly fun because he has a kid, and so he and his kid did a let's play of Resident Evil 1, and he's just like, he knows all the lines by heart in the game, so he reads every Albert Wesker line in lockstep with his character in the game. It's kind of cute. Unwatchable because they don't know what they're doing. They're stumbling around the game, but, you know, what can you do? Eventually, one of these rooms will actually have an item in it and not be completely fucking worthless. I bet that's a poison zombie.
Yeah, these are new sprites.
I think if they're purple, poison.
Ugh. She's just sleeping. This lady, she's just napping. Nothing to worry about here.
Listen, if you have any troubles in your life at all, just take a nap. When you wake up, maybe it'll be gone.
And down. Oh. I don't imagine we have a key for that yet. This guy's gonna have an item, though.
Mm-hmm.
Call it a hunch. Yeah, go figure. I should probably conserve some of that assault rifle ammo if I'm thinking ahead at all.
So, speaking of a horde infesting a small enclosed area, we've got a gnat problem right now where I'm at. So, that's why I had to go away, because I finished my drink and I don't need anything like sugary sitting out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
This sucks though. Like, someone bought some like an onion or something, and apparently the onion was like it was like a gnat dormitory or something. So we have been trying to deal with this for like a month.
This hole appears to go down a long way.
He looked like he had those, like, upside-down UIs.
I can just make out a figure. I think it's Leon.
He's having nappy time.
Barry descends the rope to reach Leon. Leon, come on! Wake up! Leon regains consciousness. What a dweeb. Alright, who's got a dweeby Leon? Who's got a Resident Evil 2 Leon in them?
I don't remember what Resident Evil 2 Leon sounds like.
Oh.
I just know. Ada, wait!
Oh, my head! Barry, what are you doing here? When you
that's
failed
pretty
to
good.
report in, somebody pushed the panic button. So they called me in to pull your fat out of the fire. Fat
I
out
thought
of
it
the
said
fire?
rat.
What the fuck kind of line is that? Right. Sorry for dragging you. Wait a minute. There was a girl.
Ada!
Yeah, I know. Lucia, right? She's been captured by that thing. You know, there's something about that girl that bothers me. Like what?
Her voice is annoying.
Well, she's got this weird power. Maybe she's the BOW that we're looking for. Yeah, sure. And that thing that took her doesn't fit the bill? Well, yeah, but... Listen, right now, I'm convinced that amoeba thing's a pretty good candidate for what we're looking for. And until
Here's
I'm
the change.
convinced otherwise... What?
I hear the change in the voice.
I'd like to see what I can do to save what may be the only survivor in this hellhole.
See where this is going.
You're right. There's a security room back the way I came. We might be able to use the observation monitor to find her.
I gotta say, those two portraits look like they were done by completely different artists.
Yeah,
Even
you
here.
don't say.
Even here.
Leon, I'm starting to think that girl might be the BOW.
Maybe it's...
Not what I was
I
going
swear
for,
that's where the
but
voice is going.
that might well end up being where it goes, but oh, thank God, a save.
Maybe it's like a Into the Spider-Verse thing. All different Resident Evil pro tags are in different art styles.
I know there are some really choice character portraits and character art later in the game. I'm thinking in particular about the ending to the game.
Yeah.
There's some great shots there. And there we go. Also, did Lucia steal our knife?
I think Lucia stole your knife.
Oh, no, there it is. Okay,
No.
we're good. We're
Okay.
good. I tell you what. Let's let Leon take some hits.
Okay. Do you want to give him the handgun to save that assault rifle ammo?
We only have 2 bullets left, so it won't be enough to even
Nope. Okay.
deal with a singular encounter. Oh, well, there we go.
Guess what?
So now we're making progress. Everything up to now, not progress. Now we're making progress. Alright, this takes us to the outside of the boat. Is this where we started the game? Is this one of the doors from... It potentially possibly is. I should also
I
do
think
myself
so. You
a
can
flavor.
check the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, and check this. Use the monitor in security room on 4th floor. Okay, so we're just going back up again. We're backtracking at this point. Also, have you noticed that the game's performance dips when zombies activate?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll say it's up to you. So yeah, so the guy does mention... So you'll go into a piano bar room and you'll find a key for the ship library, and then all the rooms will repopulate. And the game recommends that you be sure to finish them off before you go, in all capitals, before you go to the security room. Doesn't say why, though.
There we go, that's teamwork. Medium armor. God damn it, I want this grenade launcher already. Also, do you think there's any items on the right-hand side? Do you think it's worth it to be in here, or is it just gonna be... Oh, you know what? I can rob this register. Someone paid for their purchase in herbs. Ah, fuck it, I'm too stupid for my own good. I'm gonna risk everything.
Oh, he missed.
Where did you come from?
He's also about to get back up.
Oh, we got bit. Now we gotta deal with the second one.
Is Resident Evil 6 the
Yep,
first...
waste of time.
Is Resident Evil 6 the first... Oh, wait, there was an item.
Nope, that's a gas
Yeah, yeah.
grenade. We can't use that.
Oh,
We
never
can't
mind.
pick that up.
Oh, right, yeah.
Was Resident Evil 6 the first time in one of these games where a main character... Well... Okay. Not counting Las Plagas. Because that was, like, literally a thing that got inserted into you. Was Resident Evil 6 the first time that the virus proved effective on a protagonist? Because
Resident
you
Evil-
can die from, like, the C virus fog in that game.
In Resident Evil 3, there's the bit where you swap to Carlos because Jill's infected.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And not quite the same, but in the Resident Evil 1, I don't know if it's in the original or just in remake, but in the Yawn boss fight,
That's in the original, yes,
if
you can get poisoned.
yeah, if you count that, it's a bit different though.
Yeah, I'm talking about, like, the virus that which makes you a zombie.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah,
the
yeah.
frame
Which-
rate in this area, in this room in particular, dire.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to include Las Plagas because that's not a virus.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Yeah,
that was
I
the
don't know if
piano
it's-
room.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking
Now
about
you
how
can
many
head back to
times
Grizzly.
you've been bit and how many times within, like, the course of the series people probably get bit and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm fine.
Again, I don't know if this is an official Capcom stance or just something fans have figured out. But I follow the adage of it's game. If it happens in gameplay, it's not canon, because anything can happen in gameplay. And
I
that's
feel
how
like
you can kind of
even-
hand wave the biting stuff, because canonically, no one gets bit in a cutscene.
I feel like there's got to be situations in which, particularly in once they started having QTEs, parts of gameplay that you had to go through where getting bitten or stuff like that, right? Like you had to knock someone off of you. It's a scripted thing. And I'm sure if you went back and I have a good feeling, I'll say, if you went back and looked through all the cutscenes, you would see at least one of someone getting their ass bit. Maybe not literally their ass bit, but you know.
No, you never see it in Resident Evil 1, a remake, except for...
I mean the series. I mean the series, not just one.
Yeah, no one who survives, no.
Yeah, not any player characters. Like some other, you know, just what happens to...
You see Richard get like bit by a zombie in the cutscene. Yeah.
Richard.
Oh, you're poisoned.
And then Brad Vickers in Resident Evil 3 gets bit in a cutscene.
Yes.
But then he... the virus is the least of his problems.
Yeah, you're right.
Not that health has been any sort of concern in this game. They may deprive you of ammo, but they give you a billion herbs.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
It's...
Beam me up.
And here's why I think it is a Capcom thing, because in Devil May Cry games, in cutscenes, Dante can get stabbed and stuff and he's fine. But if you're playing in gameplay and he gets hit, his ass gets knocked down. And also, like, sometimes he can just instant kill enemies with one shot of his guns and stuff like that.
I was trying to knife him from behind, but they weren't going to be that nice. And so we're going to get
also,
poisoned again.
Yeah. Also, I have a feeling that Metal Gear Solid worked on those rules as well. Because, you know, like, bosses take multiple hits and they work like old school enemies where they have invincibility frames after you hit them and stuff like that. As wacky as a Metal Gear gets, I don't think that's canon.
Would you like to see a game where the cutscenes work on the same rules as the gameplay?
How do you mean?
You know, well, same in that case, right? Like, someone gets shot in a cutscene, and then they have, like, invincibility frames.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Or, you know, like... someone dies, and then they're like, okay, use the Phoenix down, quick.
I gotta get the item off of this lady.
Okay. Yeah, I get the feeling maybe like an indie game has done that.
I just think about games that have like actual persistent damage that matters. There's not many of them, but there's a classic game called Robinson's Requiem, where injuries you suffer need to be treated, otherwise you have to straight up amputate limbs at a certain point. And so losing legs or arms affects your ability to carry items to even walk. And, you know, you can still beat the game even...
Oh! That was quick.
Yeah, because I tapped a button on this. Press any button to continue.
Yeah, that's why, yeah.
Okay. So let's... because I was playing it a little too close to the vest there. Yeah. That's on me.
Also, Paul S. got it. I can't believe I forgot about this one. Metal Gear Solid 2, Snake points at his bandana.
Yeah.
Infinite ammo.
Of course, Kojima would be the one. Also, I remembered another Resident Evil thing that makes you think about the whole cutscenes and the only thing that canon. Resident Evil 4, Leon uses the starter pistol for the entire game, if you look at just the cutscenes. Like, even at the end of the game, if he's ever using a pistol in a cutscene, it's the one you start with.
That's his pistol.
Even if you sell it, like, it's not canon.
I'm just gonna ignore that zombie. There they are! Looks like it's heading for the upper deck. This doesn't make any sense. As far as we know, that thing has wiped out everybody on board. Why doesn't it kill the girl?
If I were him, I would kill that girl.
You don't quit it, do you? I know you think she's the monster we're looking for, but if she is, why isn't she wiping the floor with that thing? I see your point, but look, if it's her power that's bothering you, don't worry. I know about it. Before you came on board, I had some time to talk to her. About 2 years ago, she was adopted from an orphanage.
That's what gave her superpowers.
She said her ears started ringing around that time. Her ears? Yes, that's what you used to hear, Barry. Yeah, apparently she has an acute sense of hearing. Not to mention her other senses. She also told me that she healed quicker than most. In fact, those same powers got her into trouble with the local kids. They picked on her for being different, I should know. She said that things got so bad, her foster parents decided to send her to some relatives in Europe. Wait, so their parents couldn't deal with their kid being bullied? They didn't have an answer for it, so they just shipped her off to Europe? It's like, wash your hands of this. I know we adopted you, but you heal too quickly, and the kids are making fun of you for
witches and warlocks in Europe. she'll fit right in.
Yep. That's why she's on this ship. Not because she's some sort of refugee from the Umbrella Laboratory. That sounds pretty lame to me.
I like how no-nonsense Barry is in this. It's like, that sounds like bullshit.
Jeez, why do I even bother? Can you at least assume she's innocent until proven guilty? Right now, my concern is that monster headed for the upper deck. If taking that thing out means saving the girl in the process, then what's the problem with that? Come on, we've wasted enough time. Let's move.
Leon's not going to make any judgments until he's heard from both sides.
I mean, that's fair and equitable.
That's a thing in fiction that I never really get. I mean, I get it, but I'll just say it like this. I never get how, like, the idea of, like, oh, this kid gets bullied and made fun of because she has superpowers.
Yeah.
Because she has wonderful, amazing abilities that no... She is relentlessly made fun of. Like, oh, you heal, like, you can heal all your wounds in a matter of seconds? Ha ha. What a loser. Like,
Yeah,
the real reason why is because it's, like, a lot of that fiction is young adult fiction for people who do get bullied and stuff for being different.
I mean, look
So
at them. They
make
fucking
the
read
metaphor-
books, nerds.
Yeah,
more
so
of
they
a
make the
metaphor,
metaphor of being
Yeah.
different as in having a superpower.
Yeah.
That's
So
the real reason.
It is funny when it's, oh, and the kid's dangerous and could likely kill you, and that's what they're billing the kid over.
Yeah. You
You
can
know,
let
this
this
guy-
explode of your mind, you little freak, you little loser.
Yeah.
What floor? Third floor. We need to go down to the second, I believe. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, the writing here is definitely very Resident Evil 2 Leon, because
Because he was a
That
dweeb.
kid-
That's
that
all
story
Leon was
could-
supposed to be.
yeah, all that story could be bullshit, Leon. Oh, trust me. No, she says she had superpowers since she was a kid, so I don't think she's a BOW.
Yeah, I mean, Leon's character is being gullible, in fairness. Even
Yeah.
to this day, he's still gullible as all fuck.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is endearing in some capacity. I don't know, I like nerdy loser Leon.
Oh, yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's funnier. And, you know, he is still that character, deep down. Even Resident Evil 4 Leon is a bit of a fucking dweeb. He who cracks jokes to no one, waits until people are out of earshot before he says, "Where's everybody going, bingo?" Like he's not
Yeah.
confident in his own
He's-
joke or what have you.
He's just lucky he's the coolest person, despite being a massive dweeb in that situation.
Honestly, everyone talks about, you know, where's everyone going bingo, but I think my favorite line from Leon in Resident Evil 4 is when Salazar says, like, I've sent my right hand to dispose of you, and Leon just says, your right hand comes off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love he doesn't sound sarcastic when he says it. He
No, that
intentionally makes
he's genuinely asking. He's confused. He doesn't pick up on the cues.
Well, no, he's like,
no,
well,
I'm
no,
not.
no,
Granted, it's the Resident Evil universe. Very easily, his hand could come off and come to life.
Conceivably,
You
yeah.
never know.
yeah.
Are we in the right place? Am I in the right? Yeah, okay, all the way to the right. And also, let me check
I
this door.
I still have to stop myself and think every time I'm talking about Resident Evil 4. I just think, Salazar, Sadler.
Two different characters, believe it or not.
Yes.
Yeah. used to say
I
that.
remember it when I think Lord Sadler. It's like, okay, yeah, okay.
Oh, what keys do we
Yeah.
have?
It took me a bit, but yeah, and then the cut to the guy go, my name is Ramon Salazar.
Okay, so we still haven't checked out... I think we're going to the library now, but I'm realizing I haven't used this crew area key that we've had forever. The crew
Yeah.
area on the second floor. And we still haven't used the
Slime
Semtex either.
Yeah.
Slime Generator says, I appreciate Leon for his contributions to Man Whoredom. Do you think Leon's a tramp stamp?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the most popular mods for Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. For some reason, halfway through the guide, it mentions, oh yeah, when you look at your map, the room's marked red. That's where you're supposed to go.
Yeah, that has been the key to this.
Thanks, guide. Oh, action shot.
Hold it right there! Put the girl down, now!
Leon's hair looks very
Throws her off
unfortunate.
the side of the boat.
This danger music, it sounds like Making Christmas from The Nightmare Before Christmas. People remember some Making Christmas, Making Christmas.
Lucia!
Leon, you're alive. Somehow I knew you'd be okay. Damn it, I fucked up again. Ugh.
I don't believe it. This thing can't be stopped. Come on, we'd better get out of here. Let's go, now.
I'm such a dummy, I've lost again. Ugh.
So at this point in the game, this thing now chases us.
Oh,
It's just a
nice.
persistent threat. Because this is supposed to be like some model of tyrant, I believe.
Yeah.
Are tyrants all supposed to be kids, or was that not canon?
That was just Resident Evil Survivor.
Okay, not canon then.
Well, I mean, Resident Evil Survivor is canon. Believe it or not, of all the games, they do mention Ark Thompson in Resident Evil 7.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
Yeah, Resident Evil, I think 7 has some, like, real weird pulls. I think the reporter character from Outbreak is mentioned in 7 as well.
Yeah, he's
In, like,
one of
one
the
memo?
journos. Yeah.
The lady journo.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's see where we're meant to go. I guess there.
To the right.
Oh, well, we can't go through that. Oh, fuck me. You know, I want to rewind. I want to
Okay,
mulligan
did
so I can do
Lucia-
this.
Lucia mentioned the refrigerator, right? Yeah.
No, not as of yet.
Let me read this again. Leave the room and go ahead. You know, I was praising the guide, and then every so often it's just like, yeah, progress is their tip.
Okay, how do I get
Yep.
through here?
Yeah, do you have any keys on you?
Yeah, it has to be this. Finally, use that goddamn key. Corridor C. Maybe one of these is the library.
Yeah.
Also, let's put the knife back on Lucia. Armor.
Okay, this is probably why this guide said about clearing out the enemies. Because of being chased and maybe the slowdown.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of these doors have got to open. Alright, so Leon, I'll use pistol. Actually, you know what? I want to rearrange this. Since Barry is always the character you default to in combat. Oh, discard weapon. I don't want to discard the weapon, I just wanted to put it down, thank you very much. Oh, this is so annoying. Okay. You can't equip... You don't have duplicates of any of the weapons here, so it's got to be like this. Right, so you got to play some inventory. Tetris in a sort of way. Predating Resident Evil 4, which perfected the concept. Except not at all. Not the same thing at all. Alright. Also, no Magnum in this game as far as I can remember, as far as I can recall. Suddenly, an explosion rocks the starlight. Lucia, you're hurt! Oh, Sharky's away.
I'm okay! I'm okay!
The fire is spreading. If it reaches the engine room, this ship's gonna blow and we're gonna go with it. I'll use the radio and call in the helicopter. We need to get off this floating death trap. Mayday! Mayday! HQ, do you read me? Come in. Over.
This is headquarters, over.
I found Leon. We've also got a girl with us. She appears to be the only survivor.
What about the BOW?
We're still working on that, but right now we've got a ship that might sink at any minute. Request a helicopter for immediate evac.
No can do. We can't get the chopper up in this storm.
Well, that was fucking stupid. If this is our only extraction and it's been storming all day, this just seems like a horrible plan.
Suggest you hold out until the storm blows over. We'll get a chopper out the minute the sky's clear.
Right. I'll see if the ship will accommodate our schedule.
One more thing. We received some new info that the BOW... Sorry, on the BOW that might help. You identified a creature. It has green blood. I repeat, it has green blood. Acknowledge, please.
Green blood. Acknowledged. Over and out. Well, it looks like you were wrong. Yeah, I guess I was. Listen, Leon, I need you to see if there's a sprinkler system or something you can get working to slow down the fire. That way we might be able to buy some time till the chopper gets here. What are you going to do? Trust me, I'll be right back. Yeah, sure. Lucia, stay close. On high-tech ships like this, everything usually runs from a main computer. Let's head to the computer control room and see if we can find something that will activate the sprinkler system.
Okay, I'm right behind you.
Hey,
Sorry
we're
about
playing as
earlier.
Leon now.
Sorry about earlier. Sometimes I speak in the voice of the mini. I'm not the BOW.
So this is Leon.
Skip something?
You're right, Leon. I was wrong about her being the BOW. She doesn't have green blood. Oh, wait. Actually, she healed her wounds super fast before either of us could see it. We don't know what color her blood is. But I trust you.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. Maybe the stuff about the fridge is optional or missable.
What's in the fridge?
Okay, let's see.
Because I could definitely use, like, another type of weapon. If there's a weapon...
That's where... I'm going to read how it's written in the game, in the guide. Enter and get the grenade launcher. I assume that's a grenade launcher. But they've written it as grenade.
Okay, so I'm looking here. There's
And that's
two doors to the
also-
north.
There's also a crew key in there.
Well, the crew key we already have.
Huh.
We used that just
Okay, yeah.
now.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, so the grenade launcher is in the refrigerator room.
Well, weren't we in the fridge room way earlier? And I checked those corners and I
Maybe.
never saw it. Maybe it's there now. Or maybe we sequence broke. 'Cause I'm
Oh,
just-
yeah, it does mention using the fuse to go in there.
Well, there's nothing in the toilets. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna use this time to use this opportunity to check every room that we haven't yet
Yeah.
checked. Medical office on second floor. That's another
Oh, yeah,
door
medical
on the second
key.
floor. I wish zombie dodging were actually a thing in this game.
Yeah, their grab range is really long.
Okay, so let's look. We know those two doors on the right-hand side in the crew area. There's nothing doing. We got 1, 2, 3 doors on the left-hand side. One of them is the fridge room.
Yeah.
So I'm going to check those leads. Hopefully there's also the library, which we haven't accessed yet.
Yeah. That's on floor 2, apparently.
Yeah, everything. We are on floor 2 right now. Okay, one of these guys has an item.
Yeah. I know sometimes there's a sound effect with it as well. Wonder if that's denoting, like, a important one.
Well, I don't think it's gonna be anything important if it's just random mobs that we've killed before in a room that we've passed through multiple times. I think it's just going to be, yeah, herb. Oh, that one baited me.
Hey, that slowdown helped you out, though.
It did. It gave me time to react.
It's like bullet time. It's a feature.
How far through the game would you say we are, by the way, Johnny?
Maybe 2/3.
Okay, we'll finish on time. If we run if we run like 30 minutes over, I don't think that's too bad a thing. We can get our mileage out of this game. Okay, so left, we're gonna go all around the staircase here. Fuck it, I'm just not even gonna bother trying to dodge this stuff. It's pointless. If I just rush them, I can get into close quarters, use the knife, and that's gonna be our quickest way through most of these encounters, I imagine. Yeah, just grab. They don't do damage on the grab, it just means that they start super close.
I wonder who that paint is of.
A former Umbrella executive who happened to who loved luxury cruise lines, and built his magnum opus on this, the Starliner.
I wonder why so much like boat stuff has shown up in games in Resident Evil.
Boats are cool.
It's because if you want an actual answer, it's
I know
because it's
partly.
confined quarters. There's no
Yes,
escape from a boat. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting, because they have figured out how to do that in other environments. Resident Evil 1 did it with the mansion and all that.
I'm waiting for the Resident Evil in space.
It's inevitable. They're gonna run out of ideas eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, they already have, arguably.
I mean, Dino Crisis 3 was in space.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah. Oh.
But like that's a game that people might request, but from what I've seen of it, it would be very boring to watch being played.
I also don't think it emulates well still,
Yeah.
to my knowledge.
There's another kitchen in a different place that might have some items in. This is the library here. We picked up a key. Yeah, I kind of hate... This is just a game design gripe. When you open up a room in a video game and its sole purpose is to give you a key to open up a different room, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that there are a lot of survival horror games that are guilty of that. Resident Evil franchise being one of them for sure.
Yeah.
But this one feels particularly egregious, just by the merit of how confined and cramped these quarters are in the first place.
Yeah, I think also because in most cases it is a literal key instead of, oh, this item will open something in a non-door opening fashion, like, oh, here's a valve handle.
Yeah. You can disguise it, sort of, by doing that, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Something really funny about the zombie death noise when it gets cut off early.
Give you the assault rifle. We haven't found shotgun ammo in forever. I'm assuming this is going to be medical items in here. Oh, nope, the heavy armor. That's actually handy. Wait, where was that item pickup?
Yeah. Maybe it's just some lag on the cursor sometimes, because that looked like it was just... Okay, well, some of them are just in the middle of the floor.
Yeah, all these optional rooms just giving us some items. Not even, like, particularly useful items in a lot of cases. We still have one room on the left. Do I have a key that seems like it would open it? No, because the lounge key is for the 3rd floor. I mean, the one good thing about these keys is that they tell you, like, where they're meant to be used. Ship's lounge on the 3rd floor. Also, I should put the Diamet armor on Leon, and... Yeah, this'll work. So I'm not even going to bother with the door on the left. I'm just going to assume that it leads to nothing that we can utilize at this current juncture. And we'll work our way up to the 3rd floor.
Did you get the blowtorch, by the way?
No, not as of yet.
I'll do it, okay.
Now, is this upstairs or downstairs? Downstairs.
Okay, so that's when you go down, yeah.
Yeah, let's check the kitchen real quick. I don't see how I could have missed the grenade launcher in here earlier. It has to be, like, they have to be talking about, like, a different room, or I don't know.
We'll see. It's not explicitly written, but I'm guessing from the way the guy's written that if you hadn't gone in there yet, Lucia would have told you to come in here.
Fuck me. Well.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, well, like I said, yeah. Who knows? Maybe it wasn't there earlier. I don't know. It wouldn't make sense, but if they want you to not, break the game early and
Poison
early.
crowbar zombies. That's got to be the worst. That's got to suck.
Are the zombies poison or the crowbars poison?
I mean, who's to say? If they're poisonous, but they're just hitting us, thwacking us over the head with a crowbar, I guess it's not that big a deal, right?
Wait, before you go up, well, it's not too late. Wasn't there some grenades behind one of those green curtains?
Oh, you're probably right. Mm.
No, I remember the curtain specifically.
It's like this little zombies on stage.
There you go.
There we
cool.
go. And how about on this lady? No, nothing. So I bet there's probably like some fucking herbs somewhere around here. Oh!
Yeah.
Ah, yeah!
So in terms of progression, once you separate, use the elevators from there to go down. If that gives you an idea of where to go.
Are we on the first floor? No, we're on the second floor.
We gotta get to floor 3, where I have a key for something here. Which means working our way back to the elevator. Which should be... Sorry that I'm a habitual map checker, but... Oh, wait, no, this is second floor. And I can take the elevators on the right side there. Okay. Yeah, I know how I want to play this. And we'll make progress shortly. So, at this point, now we're pretty substantively through the game. How do you feel this ranks as, like, a handheld game? Divorce it from Resident Evil or whatever. Just think about it in terms of, like, a game that you take with you. And the amount of content on offer. Yeah, it's novel.
I say this as someone who, as a kid, had Alone in the Dark, New Nightmare on Game Boy. I would have rather had this on Game Boy.
Yeah. I will agree with something I saw in reviews, and that's the awkward way saving works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would have been better if you could kind of save wherever.
Or just have, like, typewriters. But as it stands, having it be like, here's where we think you should save.
Yeah. Like, the fact is just there's no way to just go, oh, I need to stop playing in the next minute. Especially on a system that was, using batteries.
Do we have a key for this?
It's not like you could change batteries without the system powering off.
Alright. This should be third floor. Beautiful. Ding. Alright, what can we explore here? Not that. I just let him grab me. I don't care to try and hit.
Okay, I'm just gonna save you some time. You should go down before coming up here.
Down? Down relative to what? I get what you mean. Well, I can't open that door.
There's some other stuff you'll get before coming up here, basically. Because there's some other stuff to get first.
Well, there's nothing I can get right now. You're gonna have to be specific here.
Okay.
If you want me to, if you're trying to guide me to something.
Well, take the elevator down.
That's gonna take us back to the second floor that we just came from.
You should be able to go further down from there, apparently.
Like all the way down to first floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
First floor.
There we go.
Interesting.
Like, you could have done some progress in the third floor, but then we would have ended up having to come back this way anyway. And even there's some other stuff on the second floor as well, apparently.
No, I think we've done everything on the second floor at this point. I'm not fully confident, but I think we've seen every room there, barring maybe one. I'm just securing our escape route
No,
here.
apparently there's a fire extinguisher you can find on the second floor.
Here we go. One shot, two knives. Again, I wish there were sparkles.
That's your Call of Duty handle. One shot, two knives.
One shot, two knives. More than
What does
enough
that
to
even
kill
mean?
anything
I
that
don't know.
moves.
There we go.
A blowtorch can be used to cut holes through metal. The keys have been lost for the special storage area on first floor. This blowtorch may be useful there. How do we know that?
Yeah.
Intuit it.
See, if Lucia was with you the whole time, they could have just said, "Oh yeah, her powers," but she isn't.
Ah, for fuck's sake! I don't want to waste any more ammo. Let him get closer.
Yeah. Unless that text just straight up written on the key somehow.
Finally, some more shotgun shells. Okay. Is there a door on the left? No. I mean, there is. It's down and to the left.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll come back. You know what? Fucking no. I'll take care of it now, because I see there's a door there, so I might as well. Ugh. It's always the worst when you whiff a shot. As I commonly do, as I am frequently doing at this point. Just so I don't gotta deal with him on the way out.
But yeah, like, speaking of just this game, like, there are some cool aspects to it. And though it's stuff the other Resident Evil games did, there are some, like, minor kind of, like, polish or little bits, like I said, like the saving. The thing that minorly bothers me in combat is if you start an encounter with a zombie, like, as it's getting up, I feel like it should be
on the
down.
ground,
Yeah.
move slow, yeah, something.
More in a vulnerable
and stuff
position.
like like, oh yeah, I can't pick up this ammo if I don't have the gun for it, which I'm guessing that's some technical limit to how they programmed it.
I'm honestly just
you don't have
thinking, as neat as this system is, as much as an excuse as it is for some lovely sprite arts, I am just so sick of it cutting back and forth between it. I am so over the combat in this game at this point. Just based purely on how many fights we've had to encounter, how much time it takes to transition in and out of that stuff.
I feel like this would have been a more boring game, though, if all of your combat was just the top-down shoot thing.
Sure, but I mean,
Because
combat.
these aren't enemies that can fight back beyond like getting close to you.
This guy attacked me from medium range. What the fuck? How's he hitting me from there?
I stand corrected.
He's finally using the goddamn crowbar, at least.
Merzban also says definitely seems like something that would be better played in bursts.
Yeah, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there.
Yeah. So maybe that is partially on us for like trying to play through all of it in one night here.
But, it's also short enough that it can be played in a single sitting. Just to speak to the amount of content on offer here. Which is to say, not very much. Oh, fuck this. Oh, that was the wrong herb, but whatever. It still heals. Oh. Let's run away. Well,
Nope.
Running away did not help me.
Yeah.
Okay. Crit, and then switch, and hope that one shot's enough.
Oh.
This is a top of the range armor-piercing weapon. Although it is hard to aim, it will deliver heavy damage. We finally got a rocket launcher. It's not even the end of the game. I guess it's close enough. We are, I actually have plenty of healing items still, I think. Yeah, yellow. This will get us back into green. Yep, she's already in green. Cool. I guess we'll use the shotgun. What else could be here? What else is there for us to pick up at this point?
Reportedly, there is a locked door that you have to use the blowtorch for.
We did that already.
Somewhere.
We've done that. Okay. This is the said locked room.
You should find an iron pipe.
Does it say specifically where?
Okay. The room you open with the blowtorch. In the next room, kill the zombie and search here for a key. Oh no. Did you pick up a key card?
Not yet. It's not letting me. Is it because I'm out of ammo? Why is it not letting me? I let go of the cursor at the right spot.
Is it a weird line of sight thing?
Anything in this corner? No. Also, look, M4. Haha, those are the people who made the game. Those sneaky little Pete's. There's
Yeah.
another
At least-
door I can't
yeah.
open here.
Is this the blowtorch door?
It's,
Oh, no, yeah,
we've already
that
opened
is-
the blowtorch door. We
Yeah.
already did that.
Okay, yeah, because
that
it just
is-
says... Yeah.
I was just gonna say that is a clever way to show off, like, you know, the people who like helped make this game. Like, we have the M4 crate there, and right now you're playing as a virgin.
God, okay. I think I
Yeah,
hate
the
the
full
progression in
direction-
this game.
Yeah. The corpse of the dead worker's blowtorch. Go to the next room, go up and then forward. You'll see green liquid, go to the door, use the blowtorch, and that's where the key card is. You
It
also find an
absolutely is
iron
not
pipe.
in this room. Unless, like, this sucks. This having to do that. Okay,
There you
there we go.
Okay. So the key card should be around here as well.
Jammed. This sucks. Okay, bring
Yeah.
back the fucking shining items. This is fucking bullshit. That I have to go in laps around this room. And there's no indication that, like, you know, like other Resident Evils, like you mentioned before, would show you on the map, like, hey, this room still has stuff to do in it. The only thing I can think is I haven't done this corner yet.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's just the misreading in the guide or not, but it sounds like a zombie might have the key card. Yep.
Nope.
Ugh.
Wait, yep, never mind.
That's so fucking annoying. That's
There
such a
we go.
shitty way to do it. That zombie should have had it so the red exclamation point would have popped up, as opposed to just being like, well, I don't see the red exclamation mark, therefore I'm just gonna avoid this zombie. Meanwhile, the item that you need is behind that zombie. So that's a way that they could just completely obfuscate and hide, whether it inadvertently or not, the means of progression.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing, because some of the ways it's different from Resident Evil is fine. Like, yeah, not having limited inventory space and iron boxes and things like that. But some of that polish you would see in a Resident Evil does seem lacking in this. And that's, you know, like the way some of the inventory stuff works, like highlighting items. Like, obviously, you're 2D, you can't have the characters' heads move, so there should have been something on screen.
I think it is just like a lack of thoughtfulness in the design, a lack of carefully considered object placement and progression. That M4, they were no Capcom. They were no Capcom R&D, internal studio, whatever studio ultimately, like, there's a fire extinguisher.
There we go.
And so you can see how they interpreted what they thought. This is the closest we're going to get with this hardware, but also, like, this was their read of those original Resident Evils, of Resident Evils 1 through 3, which were out at the time. And they thought they were hitting the notes. These were the notes that they needed to hit. And, you know, which ones they ignored are the ones they went on to ignore. And it turns out that they missed a lot of the real key components in terms of, like, really intuitive and thoughtful progression. Like, the amount of stuff you can just straight up miss that is unnecessary in this. Like, one person might be able to say, like, you know, I kind of appreciate how freeform it is, how you can just sort of wander around and get things at your own pace or whatnot. There's a merit to that. But, like, Resident Evil has such a clearly intended progression. It's a specific sequence of rooms you need to hit in order. And you can dilly-dally, you can go back and forth, you can item manage and juggle all day long. But you know what rooms you need to be in and which ones you don't.
You want to go back to the elevator, by the way.
I want to get to the 4th floor, right? Or do I need to be on 3rd floor?
No, that 3rd floor you briefly went into, you have key items that will let you progress there now.
Gotcha. I was thinking, are there any other rooms that we haven't explored at this point? Is there anything else that we're missing on the subject of me being like, because this is so not locked down, because the path is so not set outside of, like, you know, this room is red, therefore go to this room? Is there anything
and
that
admittedly,
we're just,
I can't fault the progression here a little too much, because, you know, classic Resident Evil is that you don't necessarily know what items you need in an area in your first playthrough. It's more just like the item placement and having no clear indication for it. And I don't know, for example, and the fact you can't examine doors to get at least some clue about, well, why is this door locked? Is it locked? Does it need blowing up, or is it,
at least 2 instances at the start of the game, the very first 2 doors you had to unlock were, you had not even a clue that one of them was like an elevator and one of them was a kitchen door or something that needed a fuse.
The operator crewman can be often be found socializing the piano bar on the 2nd floor. Something tells me he's not going to be socializing much right now. Unless he's trying to chat up the female zombies. In which case, good for him.
Well, he better be careful, because you know what Bill Biv DeVoe says. That girl's poison.
You don't have to crow quiet item.
Gee, thanks, officer. Thanks, chief. You fuck.
Where'd you come from, anyway? You've been watching the whole time?
Creeper. So great, I'm glad that we came all this way, got the keys that unlock the door, so we can go back down to the fucking 2nd floor or for the umpteenth time.
I think the stuff earlier in the guide where they mentioned about that piano room, again, that's something you could have picked up way earlier.
Wait, hold on, is the piano room 2nd floor or 4th? I keep throwing myself off here.
Okay, let me see.
Is there anything we're missing on the 4th? You know what? I know there is something. I know we can get some more grenades. I know there's that door there. And is one of these...
Yes, the piano bar is the 2nd floor.
This is data control room on the 1st floor. This is ship's lounge on the 3rd floor. Those are things that we have keys for. So if we want to go back to the 1st floor, yep, that'll open that fucking door down there. God, this is relentless. I know that Resident Evil 1 is guilty of backtracking, Resident Evil 2, 3 at all, but the amount of, hey, you know that room you were literally just in, and the key you found there that unlocked this room? Now you have the key to go back to that room you were literally just in. That's where it gets fucking egregious to me.
I mean, because that's the whole thing with classic Resident Evil. It's like they do it, the ones that do it good do it in a good way, where there's enough time away, or when you do need to go back, there'll be some change. The most egregious of classic style Resident Evil I think of is Veronica.
Yeah.
Where there's some cases where, and part of that's just the map design of just, you've traveled like 10-15 minutes in one direction to get the one item you need to open one door in a previous area. That again is another 10-15 minutes the other way. It's a shame. There's parts of that game I like, but the overall design's real rough in that one.
Yeah, I like Veronica too, but it is absolutely...
Was that Tosei who worked on that?
On Veronica?
Yeah.
No, they worked on Gun Survivor too. They may have done support work on, Code Veronica or Nemesis or something, but they weren't, lead devs like they were for Gun Survivor. Okay. So I think that means the 1st floor is conclusively and finally done. I want to go all the way up to the 4th floor.
Mm-hmm. When it turns out you have to go back there.
This lets us open this door here.
Oh, it was flagship. There we go.
Let's open this one too, just to show it. Now, that's going to be a staircase up, I imagine, to a secret 5th floor?
Yeah. There you go. Code Veronica's weird. It's mostly outsourced teams. Flagship,
more shit on the 2nd floor.
And yep.
I swear 90% of this game takes place on the 2nd floor. They love their 2nd floor. Everything else is just excuses to go back and revisit the 2nd fucking floor.
Mm-hmm. Anytime you're not on the 2nd floor, the player should be asking, why am I not on the 2nd floor?
Inquiring minds would like to know. Okay, this should be the front of the ship.
Yeah.
Which, remember, by the way, is currently in the process of exploding. I just feel the need to reiterate that.
It is kind of interesting how early you can get some items for later parts of the game, though. I'm going to say that's probably bad design, though, ultimately, for a Resident Evil style game. Because you're picking up items, it's almost like you're going out of the way to sequence break, but that's the optimal way to play. It's very strange.
Fucking worthless, those rooms.
Yeah.
But hey, it's the way the cookie crumbles. Okay, so now we have that other key for the 2nd floor. Is there a way does this connect to the left at all here, or is this just going to be a dead end? Of course. Fucking of course, because there's like an entire like half of the map that is divorced from the other half of the map. Like there's up and down on the east side, and there's up and down in the center and west side. You know what I mean? And that has been, and there's just no bridge there. Except, so every time we have to come back to the second floor, to come back to these elevators to get to the other half of the ship. Just let us go between the two. Just have like doors that connect these, that connect the east and west. It would make life so much easier. It would make the progression so much more streamlined. Have doors that can only be open from one side. That would solve whatever hangups they might have about getting to these areas too early or having a locked door that's conspicuous. I don't know. I feel like there's some design stuff here that, yeah, it's a tricky problem to solve for, but there's so many obvious fixes here to so many of the problems I'm having that I just think it really spoils a lot of this for me. It really sours a lot of this, I should say.
You know what the answer to the question posed at the start of the episode is going to end up being?
Possibly. I don't know if I'm full on hating this. I'm definitely over it. For a game that I've complained about being like, quite short, that is definitely light on content, I'm ready for this to be done. I've gotten what I need out of this, and everything I think past this point has been...
I think that might just give more credence to the idea of this is meant to be played in bursts than as one solid experience.
Sure. I don't deny that.
Yeah, because I was thinking about this combat system and people mentioned repetitive, and this is not me saying this mechanic would have improved this game, but this, when you have games of these kind of encounters, the encounter's not the draw, it's getting experience and upgrading is the draw. But there's no mechanic like that in this. So the combat encounters, you're playing like a Final Fantasy and you just were level 1 for the whole game, and you maybe found different equipment and that's it, would be kind of boring. would make the combat more boring. Because at least, with the progression, you're gaining abilities, you're killing, as you go through an area, the enemies are getting weaker as you get stronger, kind of thing. Who knows? Maybe they should have just gone full RPG with it. Considering, it's a Gaiden.
Yeah, I feel like that would have worked. There's a Resident Evil on NES. There's a bootleg Resident Evil 1 on NES. A demake, if you will, that does it as turn-based combat in the vein of like a Sweet Home or what have you. Yeah. If I'm recalling it correctly. For a bootleg, that's pretty neat. It's pretty novel. It works pretty well for what it is. I mean, Sweet Home worked pretty well for what it was, right? As someone who's actually played through Sweet Home, that game is pretty fucking neat. That has a lot of ideas. And, you talk about how Resident Evil was inspired by Sweet Home, how it shared designers, right? Wasn't like Shinji Mikami one of his first projects, Sweet Home? If I'm remembering the chronology right here. Rocket launcher missiles. Yeah, I feel like that if Capcom had led development on this, if they had done this in-house, they probably would have landed closer to something like a Sweet Home. And I think that would have ultimately benefited this game, would have been the ideal format for an 8-bit Resident Evil, right? And you could still have, like, resource management. You could have, like, in the same way that you have MP and, like, your spells are gated behind MP and as a limited resource. And, just having your fight be the knife. Right, like something like that. You get what I'm getting at here, where you can use the knife as much as you want, but it only does this much damage. It can only be used situationally, like effectively, and you got to conserve those MP points or your ammo, as it would be in that case. More grenade ammo. That's great. I don't want to be using the grenades right now, but they're not giving me much choice. At least we're getting something. I don't know, this is ambitious, and so I can't be fully mad at this. Like, for every complaint I have, I'm at least, like, impressed by things this thing does. Impressed enough to be like, they weren't just half-assing it. Clearly, they were putting effort in an M4. Clearly, they were trying to show off. And clearly they wanted to recreate some of, like, the intensity of Resident Evil. And, they weren't going to just do this for all the combat. Like Charky said earlier, if the entire game was just popping off shots in this mode, I don't know if that'd be better or worse, honestly. I guess it would depend on the execution. I guess it would depend on the resources. But
I honestly think it would have been more boring if it was like this. It would have stood out less.
Yeah, if you're going to go for that route, then you would have to have gone more faithful with the Resident Evil mechanics. Because, that's the thing with combat in that kind of style of survival horror game, is it's not meant to be the main draw. It's just a function.
It's a means to an end. It's also a last resort in a lot of cases. Like, that's another thing.
Yeah.
I guess combat is so essential in this.
And it's just a function of, like, the design of something to drain resources as well.
Which is unfortunate because, you can go through the original Resident Evil barely fighting any zombies. And granted, I don't know how intentional it really was because a lot of that involves, like, literally walking into walls to annihilate the enemy AI. Because they don't know how to. Because if you put your hitbox inside of the wall, the zombies will try to also go inside the wall, which they can't get inside of. And that's how you do a lot of the effective zombie dodges in Resident Evil 1. But I think they learned from that. I think they realized what they were doing there, then started to build in more spacious rooms that give you the option just to run circles around or to bait them into corners or what have you. And that became so essential. And I get this game is going for that in spots, but there's also just as many fights that you just can't avoid because the hallways are so narrow. And that could be, environment. That could be like, well, we're on a ship, so as a concession, you can only dodge so much. Or it could just be a matter of them not flagging that as being an essential aspect of the design of Resident Evil from, like, 2 onwards.
Yeah. If you want, I could tell where to use the Semtex, and that might help.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so,
meanwhile, I'm trying to get
in
to the third floor.
Yeah, use the key card on the door, and you find out you need another card. So you go out and use the explosive Semtex on the opposite door to open it.
Right now, I just want to go up. Because I also have that key for the 3rd floor. Is it for the piano bar? Or I guess we'll see here. Far left. Or one on the right. Let's try the one on the right first. Because it's closer. And I like closer.
And speaking of some of that backtracking stuff, it sounds like for a bit we're going to be hopping between like floor 3 and 1 a couple of times. And it's like one more locked door on the 1st floor. But we can't open it until we blow open a door with the Semtex on the 3rd floor.
Shouldn't the Tyrant be chasing us at this point? They introduced that idea, then dropped it immediately.
Hey, wait, you said that earlier that he's going to be chasing us, and then after you said that we've never seen.
I couldn't figure if that was that music that comes in every so often, and we were just too quick to see it.
Like, this part of the game would be so much improved by having that pursuer mechanic.
Yeah,
because if you're doing all this fucking backtracking, going to places that you've already been like 100 times over, and there's no zombies here either, mind you, so there's no threat, it's just tedium. Have the fucking Tyrant show up.
Or does Maybe it got stuck on a table or something.
Yeah, or does it only happen while you have all 3, and as soon as Barry leaves, he despawns?
I don't know, but this is...
Yeah. But yeah, that room you went in and the HQ guy came over and said, oh yeah, you can't do this yet. I think that's around the area where the Semtex is used.
Oh, fuck, this doesn't connect. Fuck me in the dick. Well, we can go all the way right, I guess. Right, no, we can't because that's locked behind an elevator. Fuck me. This is... I hate this. I'll come back around. This sucks.
There we go. There it is.
I do think the problem with this game is it's certain parts of the game. Like, I think if you played the first half of this game and then the second half, your opinion changes the further you get in.
I am just so annoyed at this point. We're gonna waste a fucking hour and go over time just because the progression is so poorly intuited. Okay. What do we have on hand? If I take that elevator up, it'll take us to that wing. So I have to go west to access the elevators here. I think I'm on the right track. Room. Oh, well, shit. That's the risk I run. That's completely on me, but I'm also so over it. And hey, we still have plenty of fucking herbs. Because they may not give us ammo, but they give us plenty of goddamn healing. Which I guess means they expected players to run out of ammo and use the knife for most of the game, right? is what that tells me in terms of developer concession.
Oh, yeah.
They knew that they had to have limited ammo, but they didn't know how to balance that properly, so they just said, fuck it, give him like a billion herbs.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing I've always heard about this game is that you use a knife, even on like a regular playthrough, like most of the time.
Ah, thank God.
Hey!
Finally, it feels like we're playing a video game again instead of just running circles. Get closer, I don't want to whiff a grenade. There we go.
Right in the face.
I don't know, I feel like this has been a good game for, like, getting into, like, what works, what doesn't, you know? I know the games like this aren't the most exciting to watch, potentially. Like, Game Boy Color is maybe not the most, like, visually stimulating platform, even if this game is doing some neat lighting tricks and whatnot. But, you know, I feel like we're getting to the core of, like, here's what is falling apart in this game in real time. Here's what is keeping me from giving this, like, a shining recommend. Here's why reviewers probably, what they isolated on, maybe couldn't articulate back in the day or just weren't given the words, the amount of, like, page space to...
That's important, by the way, what you just picked up.
No, I had a hunch.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious to see you try and play You'll Die Here Tonight. To see, like, a more modern kind of thing like this. And where you might see if that does some things better or worse. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. 2 doors here that I almost neglected. At least the chef died doing what he loved.
Dying?
Yeah! One of the first class cabins on the 3rd floor. Put a pin in that. Anything else here? No. So if we go south, is this where the Semtex comes into play? I think I seem to recall you. No? Okay.
No. You remember that, like, small computer room where the HQ called in? It's around there. Where the game just said, yeah, you don't have an item yet.
Well, I mean, I know we have that item now. I know that's progression. That's what we need to do to signal to whatever, to turn the sprinkler system on or whatever the fuck. What was the point of this room? What was the fucking point? What was the point of having these 2 rooms? What did it add to the game?
Well, okay, there are some,
rooms.
at least just in Resident Evil 1, but there are some rooms in some survival horror games that are just resource traps, you know, just, hey, there's an encounter in here, you'll use more resources than if you just skipped it kind of thing.
That feels like 90% of the rooms in this game, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Is that in the interest of whatever, like, you know, realism of setting, of faithfully reconstructing a cruise line.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising, yeah, there's like not a single door that you don't eventually open so far, from the looks of it.
I decided to trade health for ammo here.
Yeah,
and they just give us healing anyway.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. These rooms there, this doesn't connect. Unless I go to the 4th floor. So if I go up, that'll take us there. We go right. Those elevators should take us down to there.
Yeah, oh, and elevators are not very clearly marked on that map.
No, they're really not.
Yeah.
They tempt me with these items.
I think also, you know, we mentioned so many spin-offs or like smaller games in the Resident Evil series being on boats because they're, you know, small bottle ship kind of settings. But this is a very big boat with a lot of space, whereas when I think of Resident Evil games, they do tend to, you know, move you along and will gate things away after a while. So that you don't have a lot of like big open areas or just open gameplay stuff you can go back to and kind of streamline things. You know, like Resident Evil 1, yeah, you're in the mansion for a lot of it, but eventually you go to like the guardhouse area, and that's like a separate own bit, and then you go back to the mansion, then the lab, and that kind of progression.
So I'm trying to think in terms of other Resident Evil boat games, and yeah, like for Revelations, that does pretty strictly put you in certain spots for certain sections. But I never played Dead Aim.
Dead Aim is almost entirely on the boat. There is
There's an
end bit where
island at the
go
end you
somewhere
crash
else.
onto,
Yes.
yeah, but it's like maybe
Oh,
like 30
I'm-
minutes to 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's very
I
short.
mean
that bit.
less. I mean less that. I mean more in terms of like moment to moment. How much freedom do you have to go around the boat?
Yeah.
Like,
Dead Aim
that's
is very
how-
linear. It's very
Yeah.
like on rails, despite not being
Yeah.
a rail shooter.
It's been a long time since I played it, but that is my vague memory of it.
I think we'll do that on the show because it wasn't too well reviewed. I don't think it's terrible. I think it has some merit, but
Is that one of those that did not have light gun support in America but did overseas?
No, that was just the first Gun Survivor.
Okay, so it has no light gun support period then.
no,
it
it
does.
has light gun support.
It does?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it has some of the worst screen flashing of all time when you use the fully
Yes.
automatic weapon.
Oh.
It is. I'll have to
Okay.
use the screen flash
That's-
filter liberally for that.
That's
Yeah.
going to be a stream I don't guest on then.
or hopefully, you know, I'll look into it. Someone might have made a patch to remove it at this point.
That'd be nice, because I think after the last few light gun hoedowns or whatever we call them.
Extravaganza.
Yeah.
I prefer Sharky's name.
Is everyone's favorite show. Is everyone's favorite format.
I think after the last few light gun streams, I've realized that I don't think I can see gun streams. The watching is like
You are cutting
way
out
too
something
much for
fierce,
me.
my friend. You
You
are
are,
losing
yeah.
every other word. Technical difficulties, folks. Gotta love it. We have to get on the east side again. We have to find the fucking elevators on the other end. We have to go back to the second floor for the umpteenth time. Which means going... Wait, hold on. These elevators can take us down, right? Also, is there anything on the fourth floor that we're missing? I think there's some grenades that we left behind earlier. I might just grab them. Especially considering we actually can't go down in these elevators. Which is a little fucked. A little fucking annoying. But yeah, do you remember there's like a pool room or like a shower room or something around here? You know what I'm talking about, Johnny?
Oh. Well, I assume that is that blue part literally where the pool is.
Probably. Like, this is probably waste of time, but
Is
hold
my
on.
voice better now?
yes.
Mhm.
Okay, good.
Ugh. Bam, bam, bam. Guess I'm getting better at this.
Yeah. No, there's a review of Resident Evil Dead Aim I like, where it retells the story that the reason the villain takes the like virus to turn into a tyrant in that game is because he's annoyed at all the seizure flashing in the game. Like, oh, I've had enough of that. I'm killing these guys.
Oh yeah, that was the sense I was saying, was that I think after the last few light gun hoedowns, that I realized that I can't take the flashing lights. That's I think that'll prevent me from playing Dead Aim.
Yeah.
We'll
I
keep
will say
on
it
shoogling.
does depend on the game, because a lot of PlayStation 2 games in that era got smarter about it and realized they could do it without having to make the flash like the brightest white, and they would use like a more grey shade and it would work. Older light gun games with their lower frame rate tend to be a lot harder to go back to because
Did
of
you
that.
play Dead Aim just with a controller?
You
can,
can,
yes.
but it is made for that light gun.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's like the main game that actually takes advantage of all the buttons on the Gun Con 2. Because, you know, it launched with Time Crisis 2 and it doesn't use like the D-pad or anything like that.
Yeah, you can move and shoot in Dead Aim. Or wait, no, you can't move. Actually, you can. I think when you're in first-person mode, you can straight up.
I don't remember for some reason. I feel like you can't. No, I'm pretty sure you do stay still when you shoot in that game.
Back to the second floor. And now we're making progress again, for sure. I know where we're going. I vaguely know what we're doing. I'm sure there's stuff we're missing, but... Ugh.
Yeah, that would be the major fix for this game, is having the game segmented a bit. So just like, okay, for this part of the game, we use the left side of the boat, and none of the items you need for the rest of the game, like, you know, the items you need will only be there. Like the, you know, like the Resident Evil 1 structure of mansion, guardhouse, mansion.
South, out, east elevators. We should have the floppy disk is what's going to get us on the computer. We still have the Semtex. I still haven't used that yet, or have I?
Yeah. No, but that's that area you'll use it in.
Man, so far Leon gets the short end of the stick in this game in terms of, like, having the worst section of gameplay, the worst stretch of it by far thus far. Okay.
Yeah, see, that music that comes in every so often makes me think, oh, is that the Tyrant showing up? And then we never see it, so...
On, is this the right... I overshot it, didn't I?
Yeah.
I know this is a minor fix. I know I just have to go down one, but...
There we go. So yeah, we'll do the room above you first, before going through here.
Are you sure the room above us
Yeah.
first?
Yes.
Okay. You just stay there, buddy. Just...
Yeah.
Okay, that's the computer rebooted, but we still can't start the sprinkler system from here. It says the system can only be started from the data control room. That's a stupid fucking place to put an emergency feature on the boats. It must be a part of the ship's circuitry. Or security.
Okay, let's go.
You'll never see me back here.
Oh, great. Finally, a save point. Imagine dying at any point in the past, like, 30 minutes and having to do all that shit over again because the game didn't furnish you with a fucking save.
Yeah, so you blew up that door open, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mom. Okay, Dad. I hit a save point. We can go to outside the grandma's house now. Sorry. I was sitting here for so long. Sorry.
There we go, yeah. So you got that.
Fuck it. And he's not even dead.
Okay.
More heavy armor. Tell me there's
Can you
an
check
item
your
here.
Can you check your inventory for me quick? Okay, you've done the data disk bit, okay. Phew! Because the order of the FAQ would have been to go get the data disk now, but because you've done it out of order, we don't have to go back to the first floor anymore.
Wunderbar.
Yeah.
You know, imagine if this game had persistent corpses instead of getting rid of the ones that weren't still alive or had items.
Then it'd be running at 2 frames per second.
Yeah,
at this
I was
point.
gonna say, imagine how bad the frame rate.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we do have to go back to the first fucking floor, though.
Apparently no, you gotta go to the 4th floor now.
No, because this straight up highlights this room on the first floor.
Huh. But you've got the data disk, right?
I certainly do.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, go to the 1st floor, use the control pass in the 2nd room to open the last locked door, kill the zombie to get the key card, go further and get the data disk. Maybe it's a different data disk then.
Dueling data
And
disks.
yeah, I didn't want to mention this bit because we were moaning about the floor hopping stuff, and I was like, oh, and it's gonna happen again. But I thought, leave it as a surprise.
Oh, hey. Great! That fire extinguisher has put out all the flames! Now we can get through to the data control room to switch on the sprinkler system. Great.
Now, there we go then.
That got the sprinkler system working! According to this computer, they're an emergency fire system that can be activated from the security room. Not the first typo we've seen in this game so far. Let's head there and see if we can start it. Oh,
I have
great.
superpowers, you know. I think that's more interesting than whatever sprinkler thing you've got happening. Maybe that's why she was made fun of, because she wouldn't shut the fuck up about it.
Oh my god, look, it's little Miss Susie Invincible again, talking about how
Like-
she's immune to damage. Ooh.
Oh, did you get
okay.
you got a paper cut, huh? That must suck. Too bad I wouldn't know.
Okay,
Couldn't
I'd
yeah.
be
look
me.
that up
Sounds
and,
like a skill issue.
Yeah,
Third
there's
floor.
a lot of what you could do a lot of this game in very different orders, it seems.
Yeah, but to what
There's-
end?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like there's something we can open in the 4th floor. There's a medical key to go to the library. There's an engine room that has like a bunch of guns and ammo.
Okay, do I need to be on the... No, anything
Okay.
that takes me to the 4th floor at this point, from the center. As long as it's not the east elevators, I can get up to where I need to get up to.
But yeah, so you want to go... Yeah, 4th floor, enter the security room.
Oh, I was so close. I was so close to being rid of that zombie. Not having to do this.
Okay, Slam Jam in chat said, I love these stupid-ass character portraits. I don't know if this is too niche, but big NES licensed game for a Terminator film vibes to me. Yeah, Leon in particular looks like he's traced or digitized shot from Resident Evil 2 compared to Barry, who looks hand-drawn. It is very strange.
Okay.
Like, yeah, he looks like digitized and everyone else looks animated.
Up, elevators, up. To quadruple check myself here.
But yeah, the fact you can do stuff in very wide, variety of orders, that might be more of a negative than a positive.
It is,
just
because it just leaves you feeling aimless, and like,
yeah,
it also makes you feel like, wow, I know I'm missing something on every floor and every room, that there's a million things I need to come back for, and it's a lot to weigh. Like, it's one thing for like a Resident Evil 1 to be like, okay, this key has a diamond emblem on it, so you know that when you get this item, that's when you come back for this. But because every door has its own individual key in this game, it means that you can never predict when you're gonna get those items, that there's no flow to it, there's no sense of like in a Metroidvania, right, where you recognize, like, okay, this is a jump I can't make, so when I get something that lets me jump high, that is what's going to allow me to progress here, right? You never get a sense of that. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Who's Barry talking to?
If we listen carefully, we can just make out what he's saying.
Well, what's your answer? Do I have to remind you that I have Lucia? That doesn't leave you with too many options now, does it?
How about you, Johnny?
you do have a point. Proceed as planned, but don't go getting any strange ideas. We have eyes watching your every move.
Also, how is Barry indicated on the... How does the security camera system on this cruise liner know the Barry camera? You're just gonna have to trust me. Over and out. Who in the world was he talking to? It almost sounded like he was trying to sell us out to Umbrella or something.
That he's your partner.
Yeah, I guess I owe him the benefit of the doubt. I'll just have to ask him about it when I find him. Do you know where the bar that he was talking from? Or bar is that he was talking from, even?
Yeah, I was getting sloshed earlier. I think it was on the piano bar on the 2nd floor.
Okay, let's go there and see if we can find Barry. Great, back to the 2nd floor. Again, the only floor of consequence in this fucking video game. At least we can save.
It's the most important floor. It ties the whole thing together.
When the music slows down, it feels like I'm slowly dying. When it gets to like the single instrument, at this point, it's just like the bells of death ringing for me.
I think after this, we are going to be beyond... It's going to get a bit more linear from here.
Thank God, if true, Okay, are we on second or third floor now? Right, and we can't go down any further here. We gotta go to the staircase to go down here.
Yeah.
Which I think is, what, here? And are we on the right side of the ship? Yes, we are. Oh, whoa!
Oh!
That's the first time the game has actually done that, I think. God, I feel like I've wasted a lot of shotgun ammo there, but it didn't give us much choice now, did it?
Is the shotgun more... Oh, never mind.
Looks like you bought us some time with the sprinkler system. Forget that! Just tell me what's going on! Well, let's hear it. What's going on? Give me the girl.
No,
What?
I don't want that.
Have you gone mad? You heard me. Lucia, come over here. Lucia!
Don't worry, I'll be okay.
I can't let you get away with this. Right now, you don't have any choice. Leon
follows Barry and Lucia to the upper deck. Barry forces Lucia to descend. A rope ladder to a mysterious submarine that waits below. Submarine has the markings of the Umbrella Corporation.
Barry's a traitor again? Somehow I've got to get inside there. I can't let them get away.
Suddenly armed guards appear on the deck of the submarine.
Get back. This is your only warning. Do not approach the submarine. What are you going to do? Shoot me?
Leon, what do you think?
Open fire.
One, 2, 3.
What's that other
more.
arm? What's your other arm doing, Leon?
Stay back. I
That's
got
bad.
this.
That's bad gun posture.
I can't believe it. They opened fire, and now they're gone.
Where did they go? They didn't.
A second explosion rattles the starlight.
This is not looking good. That sounded like the engine room. Another explosion like that, and this ship is going down. I wonder if it's too late to learn to swim. You don't know how to swim, Leon?
To all operatives, is there anyone there? Over. I repeat, is anyone there? Over.
This is Leon, sir, reading you loud and clear.
Good to hear your voice, Leon. I'm afraid we have some bad news. Our sensors indicate that there is a massive buildup of power around the engine room. Going by what the sensors are telling us, it could blow in minutes.
Things are really not going my way today. I'll make my way to the engine room and see if I can stop whatever is causing the power buildup.
Good luck, Leon.
Good
Why
luck.
why the fuck they send him on this mission?
He's the only one there?
You know, it's
Never-
a minor
The boat
thing.
won't sink. It'll be fine. You won't need to swim.
You know, it's a minor thing, but I still think it's kind of interesting. Multiple save slots.
Yeah, to what end? I guess you ought to. Some people might want to cycle their saves. I guess if you are really bad at ammo management, which you know,
Yeah.
I guess I am, aren't I?
Cycle your saves, or you have a little sibling who wants to play.
Mm-hmm.
That connects.
Okay,
to,
so they
no,
do-
it doesn't
they
connect
do
to
men-
that.
Yeah, they've mentioned here that because of the fire, some of the routes are blocked off now. You can't take the regular route.
Well, that's just fucking peachy.
Yeah.
Also, we're all alone. Which means no switching weapons between characters on the fly. And then doing the inventory shuffle again. Who knows? Maybe the fire will streamline this game. Maybe it'll mean that there's only one path we can go. Also, they should give you first hit. When you do the aiming reticle, they should give you a free hit at the start of the fight.
Yeah, yeah.
Gonna have to heal. Luckily, we have fucking plenty. Unlike our ammo situation, but what can you do? Let's see real quick. That's going to be second there, so no, let's go all the way left here. Unless there's inconveniently a fire in front of this door, resulting in a huge waste of time. So can you believe it that Barry is a turncoat again in this game? I see why it's a Gaiden now. Because we all know Barry would never betray stars like this. There's definitely not going to be a revelation, pardon the pun, later where it turns out he's actually a good guy. They're definitely not going to pull that card again. Because, you see, this game is wholly original. I hate to keep checking the map like this, but I'm stupid. So
No, check the map. That's how I always say.
That's how I play these games too, yeah.
Oh, hey, this one might have ammo on them. Novel concept at this stage. You know, I'll take shotgun ammo at this point. Ugh.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So this is like the full floor deck you're on then, right?
No, second floor.
Oh, okay, maybe you've already got to that part.
Yeah, I know where we're going at this point, relative to where the objective marker is. I know which doors are going to specifically lead us to it, because, you know, they line up well enough here. So all I need to do is make it to the staircase over there, and then we'll be in Gravy Town. I hate having to use grenades on zombies. It's going against my every instinct as a Resident Evil player to have to waste fucking grenades on chump enemies.
Oh, it's fun though when you can.
Okay, yeah. I was really hoping I could just walk past it. I mean, granted, I guess there is a run from fight function. I guess we don't need to kill everything. I guess technically we can run away from encounters, but it seems like that's more risky than just... It seems like you're more likely to take damage in those situations. Oh, thank God, handgun ammo. So I can feel a little less bad. Okay, one last check of this. Left stairs. Unless the stairs to the left take me up. In which case, I've made a huge mistake. Nope, no getting around this guy, huh? Oh, they're gonna make me kill everyone here. Oh, son of a bitch. Why do you take so long going down? Why do you have a delayed reaction? That's unnecessarily cruel. Oh, he has an item on him too. Great. So now I have to. Now I feel obligate to do this.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe it's a key. Oh, I accidentally pressed the start button, which means I'm stuck in escape mode, which I don't want to be in. But it's so easy to press that instead of select, which is the button that you use to access. Oh, wait, hold on. I can do this. I might as well just keep the knife equipped at this point. Do the trade health for ammo.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
You want to take one? Yep.
Yeah. Inside the engine room, the BOW proceeds to wreck the ship's fuel converter. In an attempt to blow up the ship and destroy all the evidence of his activities.
Does he really have that much conscious thought?
I'm not going to jail.
Hey, big guy, that's enough. I'm not ready to go down with the ship. If anything's going down, it's going to be you.
On me. Wait.
I'm gonna blow you right into those steam ducts. This would probably be a good time to switch to the rocket launcher.
I assume you had no option to, what's the word I'm looking for? Shoot him first.
No.
Oh, he backed up. I'm out of here.
Well, I know when I'm not wanted.
No, it's okay. Come on, come a little closer again. Fuck that. I'm saving that last shot. Fuck me. Now he chooses to become a fucking bullet sponge. Every other
for a
encounter he's gone
tyrant,
down in like 3 shots.
Yeah, I was gonna say for a tyrant, he's been pretty easy thus far.
How did that miss?
Oh, maybe the range. It doesn't work at a certain range.
Well, here's the last of her fucking ammo.
Yeah, okay. I'm kind of seeing why there was a big section in the guide that kind of mentioned going somewhere just to get
She's beautiful.
resources.
All right, knife time. And I'm ready to heal as needed.
Might be needed.
Oh, yep. Wait, hold on. It seems like a unique game over. Yeah, because he's not usually on that screen.
Yeah.
Okay, hit me once. Shame on me.
Come on, Mac. You could do it, baby.
Ugh, come on. Just stay in range. It's okay. You don't need to back off at all. So I guess this would be my chance to heal if I needed it. If I didn't have rewind on hand.
Okay, so there is time to get some more ammo after this encounter, thankfully.
Wow, this is like the most tedious Tyrant fight of all time. And I guess it's not really fair to compare it to any other Tyrant fight, because no other Resident Evil plays like this, but you can understand why now. This makes me straight up feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, come on! Like, straight up, every other previous encounter, like 4 shots. This one,
Yeah.
12 shots from a rocket launcher, a grenade, all my remaining handgun ammo, all remaining shotgun ammo.
Is
You know-
the final boss?
Uh.
Think that's a no.
Yeah. It's annoying because the FAQ just says, it's easy again, just shoot him like a madman and he should fall. That's not quite accurate, FAQ.
Herb check. Fuck off! This blows. Like, are you kidding me? This is the fucking worst.
Yeah, it is. Okay, what room was it? Yeah, I'm not quite sure the exact areas, but there's like a lounge and some other area stuff. There are definitely optional areas that have a lot of resources. So it kind of seems like you might need to... The optimal way to play this game is to pick up every item in the game. Or just, yeah, use a knife for most of the playthrough.
Eventually I'm gonna run out of herbs. This is unreal. The fact that we have these phases where he just steps back to... Like, they knew, like, we're just gonna waste as much of your time as fucking possible here.
I mean, I assume that that moment is so you can heal up between phases.
Well, I don't need it because I know how to menu. It's, you know, at a certain point. What if the knife straight up doesn't damage him and there's just no indicator for that?
Surely not. I get why he's backing up, because it gives you an opportunity to heal or do stuff.
What are we fucking doing here? The knife can't be this weak. This guy can't have that much health. I'm straight up about to cheat and give myself like infinite ammo just to
Is this
shoot this.
technically the engine room we're in?
I guess so.
Because there apparently are some...
Fuck this.
There are things in this room, like rockets and other stuff.
Well, I can't run away from the fight, so it's a little too fucking late.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? We're just fucking cheating because I'm, this game has tested my patience to the limits. That is unacceptably bad. This, what we're encountering right here, literally, like, just straight up.
Yeah. Like, I could be wrong, but at least the way I'm reading it, it seems like you would have had to have come here before this sequence to pick up the stuff here, or you could only pick it up after you beat the boss, maybe.
Fuck, I pressed the wrong button. Let's try that again. But there's just no... Because this is such an easy situation to fall into. We fell into it naturally. Even with the benefit of, like, cheating, we fell into this. Even with the benefit of, like, our rewinds, we wound up in a situation where we're just straight up out of ammo. And...
I guess then you'd have to load your old save and then be like, well, I gotta go get ammo somehow. And I'm not excusing it. I'm saying I guess that's the thing you have to do.
Cool. Good functional cheat. Let's try the other one, why don't we?
I'm wondering, though, maybe because they're empty already, the cheats maybe don't work.
Oh, no, it should target a value in, like, RAM. That should just...
Alright.
Like, I know the way these cheats work, and they should just theoretically... Note... No, oh, I'm loading up the wrong cheat file here again. It's the second one, or... I can't believe we're having to do this. This is just so badly fucking designed. Horrible. Like, this alone takes it... No, I mean, yes, but... Because,
yeah, we wouldn't have saved that much ammo doing the encounters with just the knife, or really, you know, trying to avoid enemies, which is not that doable in most cases.
I guess we are just in hell. Watch it be just a few more knife strokes. Yeah, it's probably a situation where I need to... You know, sure, save here. Great.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm not sure exactly where they're at, but apparently there is some stuff in this room to pick up.
Let's see if we have infinite handgun ammo. That's all I care about right now.
Yeah.
It's just if these cheats work at all. Nope. Okay, let's see what items are in the room. Because I'm assuming the knife doesn't do damage. I mean, it's the only conclusion I can draw is the knife doesn't do damage.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think anyone's, like other Resident Evil games, has dug into this one to find damage values and enemy health stuff.
What sucks is that we can't stop here, right? Like, we can't just, like, let's do episode 2, because it's going to be, like, 5 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, legitimately, we are really close to the end.
That makes it all the worse.
Oh, yep, Slime says they looked up a long play, and this battle is like a minute long if you come prepped.
Which means the knife doesn't do damage. Which is just so cruel and unusual in a game that delights in, like, depriving you of resources.
I'm curious.
Right, I can't hit him from there. I need to wait for him to get in range. You better have some good items for me.
Oh. Apparently I've looked this video up before.
Oh, great, handgun ammo. There's some grenade ammo. That's something, at least. What else is here, Johnny? Tell me what else there is here.
Okay, yeah.
Also, I can make a cheat on the fly, probably. That will give us...
the engine room has many gifts for you. Search a corpse for an assault rifle clip, and at the engine parts, you also find handgun bullets on the west side and shotgun shells on the east side.
I have an idea.
There's also another room with a corpse where you'll find some grenade rounds.
Okay, here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to turn off these cheats that have been ineffective, and I'm just getting myself infinite rocket launcher ammo. That's all I really need, and I know the way to do it. Okay, first of all...
Okay, hang on. There's something about that boss fight.
Something about the boss fight?
Go on.
Okay, so this game FAQ did not understand something. You cannot defeat that boss with the knife.
Well, we figured that out.
The way the mechanic works is you're doing damage that knocks him further away from you. And when he's really far away, that's when you can damage him with, like, the rocket.
Okay, I need to get into an encounter. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to blame them because that's not clearly indicated either. Like, if that's how that fight works, they shouldn't use blood effects for when you're doing hits.
Search memory values for 11. Add the one match to my list. All the way to the bottom here. Cheat 10. Let's call this rocket launcher value. I'm going to enable it. Let us set the... Can I set the value from here? Yeah, let's just keep it at 12. Keep it at a nice, even 12.
Now, folks at home, if you're playing this on the original Game Boy, this is how you get past this section.
Congratulations, we have infinite ammo for the rocket launcher. I don't know why those other cheats didn't work. That's as simple as it is to address a cheat in this.
They should draw a bandana on top of Leon's head at this point.
If this doesn't work, I do have another way you can get past this encounter without using ammo.
Don't fight?
Kind of, yes. So, there's a speedrun trick you can do in this fight. If a zombie grabs you the exact same time that the tyrant starts the encounter, you can skip the encounter because you just fight the zombies and it skips the boss fight.
It looks like I finally ran out of luck. The damage that monster has done is so severe there's no way back now. I never thought it would end like this. My only regret
I thought I'd get my own game in Spain.
My only regret is that Barry isn't here to share the moment. On board the submarine.
On board the submarine.
Well done, Barry. It seems you've come through for us after all. I'm assuming he's Russian. That's my best Russian. Now, hand over the girl. Sorry, Captain. The deal is off. Tell your men to hold their fire if you want to keep the girl alive. Nice and easy. Do as I say and we'll all get along just fine. You ever thought you'd see Barry hold a gun to a little girl's head? You backstabbing. You set me up. You offered Umbrella and the girl so you could hijack my sub. Very good, Captain. Being aboard a sinking ship with no hope of being picked up, I figured I'd see what Umbrella had in mind for recovering their precious BOW. I offered the girl, and here you are, my own underwater limousine service. What I can't figure out is why you want the girl. I thought the amoeba thing was what you were after. BOW, amoeba? You mean you didn't know that we were after the girl all this time? Don't give me that. The BOW is supposed to have green blood. Lucia's blood is red. Of course her blood is red. She's the host. The BOW is a parasite. It's inside her body. What? In another 10 days, the BOW will mature and reach a stage where it can eat its way out of the girl.
No! No!
It's all right, Lucia. I'm gonna pull the trigger. I'm sure I can persuade the ship's captain to lend us his ship's surgeon to extract the parasite. Man, I can't believe Resident Evil 4 ripped this game off. Fuck. Don't be stupid. Who knows what complications an early extraction might cause? Listen carefully, Captain. I'll give you a simple choice. Extraction or extinction.
Aren't those the name of 2 Resident Evil movies?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
They're calling every shot in this game. Very well, my friend. You win.
What leverage does he have right? Never mind. Inside the sickbay, Barry holds a gun to the captain's head while the ship's surgeon prepares to operate on Lucia.
Man, the operation was a success. We were able to extract the parasite via the girl's mouth. We just spit it out.
We didn't need to know that.
You've got nothing to worry about now. Take a look at this. That thing won't be bothering you anymore.
Is it dead?
I don't know.
Who cares?
Jeez, it's still alive.
Suddenly, the parasite breaks free from the glass and attacks the captain. The parasite drains the life from the captain, turning him into a zombie.
Great.
I hope you have an infinite rocket launcher right now. No, you have nothing. Except an infinite rocket launcher.
Thank God I brought this with me. Sounds like that thing's attacking anything in sight. We've got to get to the bridge to turn this sub around and rescue Leon.
I'm right behind you.
At what point did he see that she had red blood?
Like when they met up with Leon, she got actually hurt. Apparently, everyone's bleeding.
Okay.
They didn't
'Cause I thought-
demonstrate it very well.
Because, like, I just remember, like, him being like, hey, you're not injured at all.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I healed it
it was
immediately.
Yeah, it was a later scene. Also, Slam Generator mentioned that the captain is drawn like a Tintin character, which is what I
Yeah.
was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking something along those lines. I was like, it's like
Yeah.
Popeye?
Tintin
No,
or
not
Popeye. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of Popeye.
Do you want to heal up a little bit?
Yeah,
Just
I'm
in
going
case.
to. And also put the Diamet armor on, the best armor in the game. Alright, cool. And Lucia, you can, I don't know, take a grenade
Knife?
launcher, why don't
Yeah.
you?
Okay, I can also confirm the captain can be defeated with the knife. It's just that last Tyrant encounter.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm just using the infinite grenade launcher for every...
yeah.
Infinite rocket
Oh no,
launcher.
I'm just. Yeah, it's just mentions people have done the homework and figured out about playing this game with just a knife. It's apparently not fun, and you have to use glitches to get past that.
Yeah, I mean,
Time
knife-only
encounter.
runs are a staple of original
Yeah.
Resident Evils, of the classic Resident Evils. I've done a knife-only run for a remake.
I'm gonna say Barry's plan here had so many flaws. This is Umbrella. I imagine multiple people in Umbrella were orders of like, oh yeah, if the captain's taken hostage, just kill him. We don't care. Because in Umbrella, like, everyone's expendable, so why would they care?
Why would they give a shit? Yeah.
Yeah.
You do not have the gas launcher. You cannot collect this. Did we miss a weapon?
Maybe you have not seen it yet.
Let me see.
Well, this is... Oh, there's a door.
Barry and Lucia make it to the bridge, slamming the hatch shut on the BOW, keeping the creature at bay.
Yeah.
That's it. I think I figured out these controls. I've got the sub headed back towards the Starlight.
I'll bet Leon will be happy to see us.
If he doesn't shoot me first.
I
By
thought he
the
said if
way,
he doesn't, I'll shoot him.
by the way, I'm sorry for treating you so rough back there.
There's no need to apologize. I don't know how to explain it. But what you were doing, it somehow felt right. You were morally absolved for pointing a gun at a girl and holding her hostage.
It's more than likely because I have a daughter about your age.
She hates me.
Oh,
Hey, I've got an idea. If we ever get out of this mess, why don't you come and live with us? That is, if you don't mind having a sister.
oh, Barry, that would be wonderful.
I think so too. Now we're near the Starlight. Let's go find Leon.
Barry and Lucia prepare to board the Starlight.
That ship's barely floating. We don't have much time. Let's find Leon and get out of here.
Suddenly, the BOW bursts from a hatch onto the sub's deck.
Why, Iona?
Barry!
Man, not again.
Before Barry can get a shot, the creature, in a sudden burst of speed, dives toward the side of the starlight and disappears.
It's bad enough the ship is about to sink. Now we've got to watch out for that thing, too. Let's head to the ship's engine room and see if we can find Leon.
Patrick Meow says, I love how this is written like a book for kids learning to read.
Yeah.
Well, we got to make it back to the first floor.
The BOW jumped onto the deck of the ship. The deck is the place where people can stand and look out over the ocean.
Yeah, apparently this is the part that's quite linear because the flames block off everywhere you can't go.
So what about that gas gun, huh?
Oh, well.
Oh, yeah, it is examine the computer at the right side of the 4th floor in the operation room, east past of the ship. So yeah,
Well, we
you can
can't
just
do
totally
that.
miss it.
Looks like we're just going to have to stick with our rocket launcher that never runs out of...
Yeah, Also, I don't know what is wrong with your thing, but you are cutting out at the end of sentences again. Make sure you don't have crisp on or any other voice filtering. I hate to do this live during the show, folks, but...
Oh, no, this gets way worse if I turn crisp off. Trust me.
Alright, let's kill this guy.
Oh, I'm going to read a quick thing from the Q&A in this guide. Question. Damn, while I was playing, it restarted and deleted all my slots. Answer. Yeah, you're right, that can happen. The reason? I don't have the slightest clue.
Awesome. Also, this part, this path blocked by fire, so I'm, Huh?
Yeah.
I know we're so close to the end here.
Slime says, the zombie dying sound sounds like a pitched down version of the Hopefully that came through. I don't know if it did.
Mostly, I think. My voice still fucking up?
No, it's just... It'll happen again
we did.
later. We'll have to just play it by ear.
Yeah. Thank you,
Also,
Slime.
I think you're also well, actually, maybe you're not. No, you're not poisoned.
Wait, so how am I supposed to get to the left-hand side, then? The flames are blocking off the only routes I know to get to the west end of the ship. Huh?
Check the map.
The map doesn't help in this. First of all, let me grab whatever resource this guy has. Look, I need to get to the left-hand side.
On 3-4, so...
I have to go up to the
no,
4th
from a
floor, then go
different-
all the way?
Yeah,
Because this is
Yeah,
where we
well,
need to
no.
be.
Yeah, because the guy says
That-
when you were at the east elevators.
What a stupid fucking progression. Man, Bit Studio really fucked this up. They had something here. I think the biggest failing of this game, I think the part that absolutely fucking sinks this ship is just fucking god-awful progression. God-awful design in terms of, like, the routes you need to go, the methods by which you need to traverse the ship. Just absolutely unacceptably fucking wretched and bad. Like, more than anything, I can take the combat, I can take the ammo scarcity, I can take all the other issues in the game, but this is just the most absolutely fucking miserable fucking progression I've ever seen in a Resident Evil game. This kicks Code Veronica's ass in terms of this dog shit backtracking and progression.
Also, it's, you know, we had cheats on, so I don't know if it affected it, but when you swap to Barry there, do you have the same inventory as Leon there?
Yes, every character has the
Yes.
same inventory at all times.
Ah, okay. I mean, that's probably the better way to handle it, because there's some annoying parts of Code Veronica where that's not the case. And you can lose items, because the game will swap characters without any warning.
Yeah, fuck, man. Like, I really was, like, hoping I would come around to... Fuck off. Fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. If the other side of this is also in flames, I'm gonna, like, rage quit this. It can't be doing this to me. It can't seriously... Oh, well, that's my fault. That's on me. That's just me not healing enough. Even though I have the diamond armor, so theoretically I should be able to tank a hit. But I guess I don't know how that, like, if I go fucking up here, and around, and there's no way to go further west. There's no way to get to that other end of the ship from up here. If there's just flames blocking the way the same as the other. And they deliberately chose to put the flames where they did just to make this as miserable as possible to circumnavigate. Then fuck these people forever.
It's weird to me also that the rocket launcher doesn't instant kill these zombies. That's very strange to me.
Yep, so at least we found the right route, so we'll finish this game. But fuck me. What a wretched bunch of assholes who made this.
Yeah, I get the logic of just having, you know, because the submarine is such a tiny section of it, like I don't even want to count it really, but just having the one boat when you're doing a game with this scale, like I get it from a sense, but the problem is the boat's like the size of multiple Resident Evil locations. And yeah, that's always where any of the times classic Resident Evil went wrong. It's where they went like too big with areas, like making the maps too big, making like too many parts you have to go off and travel to.
Great, we're on the correct end of the ship now. You know, never mind that we're using elevators while the ship is like exploding. That we should be using, like you know, what they want to do is they could just be like, the elevators are down because there's no fucking power. You got to use staircases.
Yeah.
Like at least
the stairs would be more dangerous because they could explode and you could trip.
Leon, you're still alive. You came back?
He looks really annoyed with you.
What did you expect? Now come on, let's get out of here.
Harry, I don't think that's Leon.
What?
I mean what I said. I don't think that's Leon.
Huh.
No, that's the large, buff, and naked Leon I know and love.
Toe to tip, that's a Leon.
Yep, it's me. I'm Leon.
I think we gotta push him back again.
I'm gonna check.
No.
Nope. Worked out.
Oh, wow. He was down for all of like 1 second, and now he's just back in it. Ah, look at him. Maybe they shouldn't have put a bunch of fucking holes in the ground here if they wanted to have enemies that can actually follow you around. Maybe they shouldn't have put holes like everywhere.
As Barry and Lucia enter the engine room, they see Leon sitting on the floor.
Barry! Hold it right there, Leon. If you are Leon. What? First you leave me behind on the sinking ship, and now you're trying to order me around. I ought to ring your... It is you. Chill out, man. I can explain.
He tried to kidnap me, Leon. Get him. Oh no, what was that?
Sounds like the hull just exploded. The ship's flooding. Leon, we haven't got time to argue. We gotta make it back to the submarine. Hey, the gang's all here, finally. It's a reunion at the end of the game. Here, Leon, take a knife and go fucking stab yourself in the face with it.
Nope, wrong person. Does this game have multiple endings?
No.
No, it's just the one, it seems, yeah.
Okay.
Wow, they really populated.
Oh, okay, I did read something a bit wrong. Now we're heading to the east elevators. I think this might be the part that's even more guided now. But yeah, just heading back to the submarine. There'll be one more fight.
I'm assuming we just go up the way we just came.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, now there's flames there.
Yep. And then we'll go have a pint and wait for this to all blow over.
I think we are going to come in at like 3.5 hours. Give or take like another 10 to give summations and close out the show, but...
Yeah.
Ay. This game just relishes in wasting your fucking time. And, you know, like, as we do more of these episodes, as, you know, I've had to give my conclusion on so many bad games. Like, my biggest point of contention with so many games, with most video games, is when they waste your fucking time. That is like the one thing I cannot tolerate. Bad controls, I'll figure them out. Obtuse mechanics, you know, I can try to get inside the developer's head, but when they just fucking spin you around in circles or don't know how to do like a progression that makes any sort of sense or is intuitive or enjoyable, that just feels like you're spinning your fucking wheels, that is like the one thing I can never forgive. Like, tell me if I'm on face here, because, like...
Oh, yeah. There's some comments I'm going to say for the full roundup. But some of the stuff I said earlier about maybe this working better as an RPG if they're going to go for this gameplay, I'm more convinced of now.
Okay, so I don't want to take the stairs there. I just want to go right here, south, right, and we're good.
You might want to heal up considering how hard things hit at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll mention the funny thing about so many Resident Evil spin-offs and then eventually Resident Evil mainline games doing both stuff is, you know, they usually are the games with lesser quality, and the boat sections are usually the worst parts of it. Like, the consensus of Resident Evil 7, the boat part is the worst part of the game.
As a treat, I'm going to turn off the infinite ammo cheat for the rocket launcher in a minute. So we can at least pretend like we ended the game on its terms. Just pretend we found a whole bunch of rockets, or we're smarter about conserving our ammo, because...
It really does seem you would have had to have gone to that engine room and some other rooms before a certain point of no return to get enough ammo for that fight. But also just, it's not communicated well. The fact you have to knock it back.
I mean, that's this game's cardinal sin, is not communicating anything well.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Like that's just like such a waste of time. Why not just have me run along that end of the ship? What would be the harm? Why do I have to circumnavigate in this sort of way? We're so close to the end of the game, you can't just let us get away with anything here.
Yeah. And also, that's a big thing. There's not a lot of like opening up shortcuts and alternative ways, which is like that's the thing in Resident Evil. That's how you like make navigating the maps better.
No, but this game absolutely forcefully rejects the notion of shortcuts.
Yeah.
It is always the longest possible, most circuitous route every time. Fuck it. It doesn't even kill them. That's so annoying too. I've had it with these zombies that don't actually die when...
Yeah, it's weird how the rocket launcher is not that effective.
Tell me there's a fire right here.
Yeah, even if it's not a crit hit, it should just be a one-hit kill. Like, come on.
Cool, wasted a rocket.
Yeah, because that's you do need some of that stuff, so I would try and hold off using the grenades and the rockets. Because now I'm not so sure if you have enough.
I bet we have enough. Oh, come on! Just let us finish the game. Just stop putting fire in the way. Stop gating it off in this sort of way.
Okay, yeah, as long as you don't use any more, you should be fine. Hello!
It's like he's waiting for us.
It's me, your buddy Leon again.
Heal. Grenade, because it's easier to time at this distance. Switch to shotgun.
Is this another thing we have to repel him, or are we just doing damage straight up?
Apparently just damage.
Okay.
Oh, you're poisoned. Well, never mind. You're still poisoned. Suddenly, out of the darkness, the creature lunges, grabbing Lucia and pulling her into the sea.
I don't believe this. Leon, wait here. I'm going in after her.
Leon waits for Barry to surface. Pulling Lucia from the ocean, they both make it onto the deck of the ship.
Wow, that was... Wow,
Wow,
that really
that
milked that
was-
situation.
Yeah.
Take it easy, girl. You're going to be all right. That's it. Deep breaths. Oh, jeez, not again.
Eerily standing behind Barry and Lucia is another Lucia.
What's going on? I'm Lucia 1. Don't believe her.
believe
I'm
her.
Lucia 2.
No, it should
I
be
thought
competing
this-
voices for this.
Oh,
Come
yeah,
on.
sure. Sure, go on.
Don't believe her. I'm Lucia.
Don't either of you move a muscle. I'll shoot you both if I have to.
She's lying. I'm the real Lucia. Barry, look at this.
Look at this.
Lucia nicks her hand with a knife and oozes red blood.
Ouch! Good thinking, Lucia. I felt that psychically. I don't believe it! It's turning into another creature! Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, I guess I'm
Yeah,
turning
you
the
might-
cheat back on because we're out of
Yeah.
ammo.
Okay. Also, this guy's bothering me because he did not mention there were 2 fucking fights here.
Yellow herbs. Oh, no, we have plenty of handgun ammo.
As I said, though, you are poisoned.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but apparently this fight takes like 10 rockets or something. So I don't know how
Well-
long that would take with a handgun.
Well, Burial's gonna die during the end credits because of poison. Like,
Yeah, are you happy now?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Oh, there we
It'll
go.
tell you who. It'll tell you the executive producer, and then Barry just dies.
Let's get out of here while we've got the chance. Move it.
Barry, Leon, and Lucia finally make it on the deck of the sub.
Look, the starlight. She's going under.
The 3 look on as the starlight tilts upright and prepares to sink into the freezing cold, watery depths.
Looks like we finally made it. Yeah, it looks like we're going home, Lucia.
Oh, Barry, you don't know what this means to me.
Your hand, it's cut and it's not healing.
You're the fake Lucia.
You're right, and my ears aren't ringing anymore.
That means...
I've lost my power. I'm normal.
Hey guys, I'm getting through to headquarters. Yes! Look at that face! It was all worth it! HQ, this is Leon. Mission accomplished. We're heading home.
Now, this was the image I was waiting for with his lips.
Advisor, Shinji Mikami. Yeah, there you go. Ah.
It's up to us to take down Umbrella.
I'm doing that thing now where I'm instinctively kind of like looking at my lips, going like, "Are they that
Yeah.
dry right now too?"
I did the same thing.
So,
Making psychic damage.
ooh, thoughts?
Okay, so I think that this really fell apart in the last half. This nosedived in the last half in terms of like what they expected you to do in terms of like ammo hunting, and like just looking around for shit and not having any good direction. And I think like not having good is an issue that a lot of this game had, even with like the map showing you, hey, this is the place you need to get to, which is more than we can say about like other games we've played like this. They having like a clear like go here kind of notifications. But even though I think it did absolutely fall apart in the end, I really like the idea that they were like doing. And you know, having a good idea is not enough.
to make a game good. But I do appreciate what they were trying to do with this game. I think it is a thing that if with another iteration like this, or if someone else were to come along and make this, it would be cool. And hey, it looks like someone did come along and do another thing like this. I've said it like a couple times tonight, but you will die here tonight. Yeah, I think it was a team that was cooking with a good idea, but they botched the execution. I ultimately, I wanted to try and defend this game, even in spite of some of the frustrations that I saw you having throughout it. But the more and more it went on, the more I was like, yeah, this doesn't hold up in terms of actually playing this game. Oh, you're welcome. This doesn't actually hold up at the end of the day with just it's the ammo thing, honestly. The scarcity of ammo, and towards the end of the game, I thought I cut off for a second. At the end of the game, where you need that ammo to take out the tyrants, and you just don't have that ammo unless you go hunting for it. If you go hunting for it, you're probably gonna start running out of ammo unless you take every fight with a gun, and it seems to be, I don't know, it seemed too frustrating to be worth it by the end. I like the idea. They didn't do it as well as they could have, or had the time to have the talent on hand to have. Who knows why it didn't go the way it probably should have.
Johnny.
Yeah. A lot of my opinions going to echo Charky's, that there are good ideas in this game that work in the first half of the game, and then the second half of the game falls apart, where it doesn't have the same polish and really refined map design and progression design that a typical Resident Evil has. Because even with all the mechanic changes, you could have made something like this work, but where it missteps most is when I think of Resident Evil. I just think of the progression through a game and how you unlock the map, and when you get items is so refined when it's at its best, so crisp and nice. And as going through this game and seeing the way that this guide was written, there are points where you can go and get an item that you might not need for another hour or two, and well, not even hour or two, an act, multiple cutscenes away. It's not the same as a Resident Evil where you're building up slowly. It's it's like if you found a lab key at the start of the mansion. It's very strange. Yeah, the more the combat was going on as well, I think early on it's interesting, but even for as short as the length of this game is, I think it does outstay its welcome. I think
it would be better if it was played in bursts as opposed to how we were doing it all in one sitting.
Yeah.
I wonder how many batteries our Game Boy would have gone through in this.
No, with at the same time, how much you would have to learn this map. For example, the amount of times you're going back between the first floor, third floor stuff in that big section, that coming away from this game might hurt that stuff even more.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as I was watching it. I was thinking this gameplay would be better in bursts, so you don't burn yourself out on how this combat is. But if you step away from it, especially towards the end, with the amount of crisscrossing and backtracking that you have to do, I could easily see what you gain from not burning out on the combat is offset by how lost you would be if you set this game down and try to come back to it.
Yes, precisely. Yeah. I'm glad you raised that point, because that was going to be my big point of contention. That was going to be my big point of against the burst argument, is the fact that the retention, that unless you are memorizing, committing all the different routes and circuitry to memory, you'd lose out on so much. You'd be so fucked. You've taken a day off of this game.
Yeah, at least that became more and more obvious as the game went on. That would be an issue. So I feel with a handheld game, you're meant to play it in bursts. I feel like that's the intention, and with the way that the mapping works, that it fails on that end.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
And then
you go ahead.
I've got
please, John.
A bit more. It's mainly on the combat. I see the combat as great, and I mentioned if you were going to do these exact same combat, and it's even mentioned in the Wikipedia article that this was developed for an RPG, it might have been better to go for that route, especially because it does do the party member thing. But I think a very small change that actually would have added to the combat, and especially helped with some of the issues with how much ammo you need for the end game, and a lot of the extra stuff is very out of the way. Whereas this game is always trying to indicate you need to go here. Is there should have been some sort of defensive option in combat. You've got this whole timing system. Instead of it being like a DPS race when enemies are close, I think if they, maybe even turn the game into more turn-based of like, here's your attack phase, here's a defense phase, and for example, you can't really run around enemies a lot. If instead the way you got around that is to get into an encounter, and then there was some way to like in combat, there was an option to bypass them, and then you do some sort of little timing mini game to do that. That I think would also fix some of the problems it had, like to strip away more of its like real time action attempts, and have just gone more simple RPG style. Like, yeah, it would have been more far removed from what Resident Evil was, but I think again for this small scaled hardware, that would have fixed a lot. Story we haven't really talked about. I think it's okay, but it's even cheesy for the time of Resident Evil.
That's
Like, it's
saying a
okay. It's
lot,
not quite, yeah. Like, in some ways, it's like even more cheesy than Code Veronica, and the writing. Like, it's weird the way this game's written and the story is. And I know, like, I think someone from Capcom was like the main scenario writer, but it feels like a early like 80s attempt at like an RPG story that got translated poorly at times, because it's very matter-of-fact dialogue, you know, like there's not a lot of personality in the dialogue, and people
No,
just kind of go
certainly
like
not.
cheese or man, and that's about it. Yeah, I think that covers it. I do think like the visuals and some of the stuff they do in the audio is neat. But then there's the argument of like, was that worth the sacrifice of if they had gone simpler, or for example, we brought up Metal Gear Solid / Ghost Babel, it gone that route of not having the close up on the zombies and doing so in real time. So yeah, good attempt, but yeah, I think in execution it ends up falling apart by the end.
For me, issue number one with a bullet. I'll excuse a lot of the technical stuff, the gameplay stuff. It's that momentum. We're calling it progression, but momentum is really the word. The starts and stops, the harsh starts and stops in this game, as gated by an awful save system, a truly terrible save system, especially for how much of the game is spent in that one Leon section. I'm thinking about that one stretch in particular where you're meant to get like all the items, and you have 2 out of 3 party members, so you're not even operating at like peak effectiveness, and that's where you're really meant to do like half the work.
Oh, that reminds me of a good point, if I may say something again.
Please.
Because like I want to say another thing like against the idea of playing this in bursts is that save system. Is the fact that even though I feel like the combat would be better suited for bursts, you're not allowed to save until the game is like, okay, you've reached a point in the story where we think you can save.
Yeah, truly a horrible idea. Truly a stupid idea that they had a template for, they had a standard for in the other Resident Evil games, and they did not heed it. They did not recognize the intuitiveness of the stationary save systems, of the save room as a concept, and the ability to save. Admittedly, Resident Evil's originals, you had limited saves, and people can gripe about that if they want to. But, I mean, fuck, if this is their idea of what a limited save really amounts to, if this is like their idea, their improvement, this is a backstep in every regard when it comes to the save system. But just more importantly to me, my god, it is just so tedious navigating this stupid fucking ship, the way that keys are doled out on an individual, on a per door basis, how it's not just keys, it's Semtex, all these incidental items that have a singular use, and then they disappear immediately from your inventory. The fact that it's not just like a key card system where this is key card level 1, or this is key for the second floor that opens these doors in this part of the thing. This will open up all the passenger cabins. This will open up all security rooms. Just to delineate it in that sort of way would have streamlined so much of this fucking game.
Yeah.
Would have made it so much more intuitive, would have made it so that when you pick up one of these items, you get some sort of sense of satisfaction in knowing, hey, I've passed by these rooms, or I think I know the layout of the ship, so I know I bet I can go back to these rooms now. But because every single fucking key in the game is tailored for a specific fucking door that you have no idea, I mean, you can read the info on them to figure out, like, this is going to be on the 3rd floor, but they have you going up and down and left and right, and dividing the ship into segments and having no shortcuts between it. And oh my god, it's just so fucking bad. It is just so obviously and clearly unintuitive in a way that leads me to believe that they just wanted to waste your time. Not in the sense that they wanted to, like, you know, we're going to torture the player, but they thought they were extending playability. They thought they were doing something to get more mileage out of the game by forcing players to reckon with having to go around in those circles and to explore every single corner. But then that's completely at odds with the respawning enemies and the scarcity of ammo and resources, except for health, which I give you fucking plenty of. So it's just so confused. My takeaway is that, hey, maybe this M4 Limited studio, maybe Capcom should have put more people on the fucking task. Maybe Capcom should have supervised this a bit more, since this was their biggest franchise going at the time, since Resident Evil was their cash cow, and the Game Boy Color, despite being a little long in the tooth by 2001, 2002, the Game Boy Advance being around the corner, if not out already, there was still a big install base. There was still potential for this game to move a lot of fucking copies, just based on the strength of the IP of the title. And they squandered it by letting some fucking hacks, you know, those Bit Studio guys, they didn't make a lot of great stuff. We've covered a lot of their games in, like, the LJN Connection series. I remember in particular, they were mainstays there. They needed to just more closely supervise this shit. You look at a Gun Survivor, right? In Tosei, they're hired guns. They're a mercenary studio. They're a ghost studio. But you know what? What they did in their process, they listened to the people who were commissioning them and asked them to plan the game to say, what beats do you want us to hit in terms of narrative and in terms of design? We will do the programming and create the assets, but you tell us the vision for what you want. That is how a lot of these ghost studios operated. So they weren't writing the scripts or whatever. They were doing the grunt work. If that was the arrangement that Capcom had reached with M4, if they had reached an arrangement where they said, hey, this is a scenario, these are the gameplay beats, and this is the progression. This is, like, the sequence we want you to follow. That would have been the most important direction they could have given. That could have saved this entire game if someone had woken up to the fact that these M4 guys were making this tedious, labyrinthian hell of a game at any point and been like, hey, put a fucking door here to bridge these two things, or, hey, change the key system up. Those two changes would have saved this game. Would have saved so much time, would have saved so much fucking circuitous bullshit. It's so simple. You could make a hack for this game that just adds doors to bridge the two halves of the ship. Or maybe has, like, some sort of, like, through line, like some, like, connecting hall that just connects, like, all the different sections that, you know, you unlock, like, from the other sides of the doors once you get into, like, the other parts of the ship, and you unlock that short to get it back. That would have fixed so much. Changing the key system so that keys work on multiple different doors and they're clearly labeled in some sort of way when you inspect said doors or fuse boxes or whatever else. Just having some sort of text prompt that says, this is what you need for this door. That's it. That's all they needed. Yes, there would still be issues in terms of ammo economy and you know, the free-formness that are just intuitive to the design, but that would have fixed so fucking much. It would have shaved 40 minutes off of this playthrough. We would have been so much happier for it. It's just such a stupid fucking oversight on their part that leads me to believe that they missed what worked in Resident Evil. They watched a playthrough of it, didn't understand what they were watching, took away the wrong conclusions about how a game like that should work. They heard backtracking. They heard it somewhere, someone say that word once, and they said, oh, backtracking, that's what people like about Resident Evil. They like going through the same rooms over and 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 over again, so we'll just focus on that. That's what it feels like. You know, that's probably not accurate. I'm sure the people who worked on this game were well-intentioned. I'm sure they wanted to make the best game they could, and that decisions they made had some degree of thought behind them. but the end product certainly doesn't reflect that compassion or understanding or any sense that they knew what the fuck they were doing in terms of maintaining momentum through the playthrough, in terms of pacing, in terms of progression, even in terms of narrative. If you want to incorporate narrative complaints into this, the story is so meaningless, and the beats that happen, and the order they happen, and the order people enter and exit your party, like, they fucked that stuff up. I just don't think they had an idea of, like, how to get from point A to B. And they had no interest or understanding of how to convey that to a player either for their part. And that is the major failing of this game. And it's a shame, because what I'm imagining, this will be my last thought on this so we can get to the end of this goddamn show.
Yeah.
If they had been tasked, I want you to imagine this. Close your eyes, imagine this. That they got the task to bring Resident Evil 1 to the Game Boy Color in this style. They retained all the same gameplay hooks, but it was just the Spencer Mansion and the attached guard greenhouse and so on and so forth. But if they had to follow in the path that was set in that original game, if you had to hit the same sequence of rooms in the same order, collecting the same items and keys and stuff, okay, picture that. Would that work? I say yes.
Yeah, that would have really fixed most of the issues with this game.
Yeah, sure.
Like, again, maybe some of the adjustments to the combat I mentioned just to give you more to do. I forget who said, but someone early on mentioned, as I think as a joke, and mentioned how like the timing with the attacks reminded Undertale. But one of the big things with Undertale that works is that when you dodge in attacks, you have so much gameplay there. And some, just, obviously not to that length, but just if there'd been something else that kind of, incentivized avoiding combat like a Resident Evil does, to have a combat mechanic around it, would have been a big thing as well. I do wonder if Capcom were maybe spread too thin at this time, because they had, like multiple teams work on Resident Evil, multiple outsourced teams. You mentioned Tosei and Gun Survivor, Flagship on Code Veronica, with Shinji Mikami and one or two other producers micromanaging all those projects at the same time. So I wonder if this is the one Mikami was just like, I don't have time for all of these. One of these, I've just got to leave the developers to just do whatever.
They took their eye off the prize, and the end result suffered for it. And, it's a shame. Because it could have been neat to have a little survival horror game on the Game Boy Color, something you could revisit. Also, no replay value in this game, by the way. You don't unlock anything in the game. There's no incentive to ever replay it once you played it once.
Multiple endings.
Yeah, would have been nice.
Multiple endings, or just hey, give us an infinite rocket launcher and have fun.
Yeah.
Anything.
In fact, you probably could have
Mercenaries mode.
Streamlined some parts of the game and got game length out of the multiple endings instead.
Yeah. Anything.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the route they decided to go. Speaking of going, folks, thank you for suffering and toughing through that with us. That was Resident Evil Gaiden. We did it as a one-off. We managed it in 4 hours, 3.5 hours of gameplay, give or take. Oy vey. By the way, did I mention this was supposed to be a birthday celebration of the game? Yeah, sorry. Happy release date, North American release date for it. I should have, the weirdness with the release dates for the game. This was the North American release dates, give or take a day. And I can see why this one is best left forgotten. I'm sure it has its defenders, but I would challenge those defenders to replay it. And to try doing it without the benefit of a fucking guide, by the way. Have fun with that shit. Have fun just trying to remember where every single item is and all the key items and stuff. Good fucking luck. They can't all be winners. There'll be more Resident Evil games that are losers in future. There's a few of them. We still got to get through a few of them. We still got to finish Resident Evil 6.
They can't all be good games here on the Bad Game Hall of Fame.
Yeah, unfortunately not. Hey, let's go over the schedule real quick, the stream schedule. Fly through it. Thursday, that would be June 5th. Highlander, The Last of the McClouds, our Atari Jaguar CD playthrough. That'll be part 2, hopefully the final part of that playthrough. Hopefully that's a 2 and done. One of the worst games we've played for the show. This doesn't even begin to compare. For our gripes with this, Resident Evil Gaiden, not even close to the ballpark of bad that Highlander, The Last of the McClouds is brought to the table. Friday, June 6th, Bag Game Hall of Fame returns with Johnny Bag's Not So Pro Skater 2, covering weirdo versions of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Saturday, June 7th, Cursed Kart Racers episode 12. Our catch-up episode where we cover games that we missed in previous episodes from, you know, like the PS1 era forward, I think, from like the 90s to 2010-ish. Give or take, any games we missed in that time window, we'll cover in that episode. Then tune in Monday, June 9th, for our Casual Monday program where we play games that are not so bad. And then we don't call it the Bad Game Hall of Fame on that day. We just call it Casual Mondays. Then as for next Tuesday, June 10th, who's to say? We'll think of something. We'll come up with something in the week from now, I'm sure. Some sort of one-off or theme night. We always got something. We're always cooking something. Hey, thanks for tuning in again. If you like what you saw here tonight, consider joining the Discord community, discord.gg/bghof. It is where we get to talking about the bad games and all sorts of other stuff, too. So, you know, community of connoisseurs, folks you can hang out with. We have regular voice calls. Not tonight. I'm going to fucking bed.
Yeah.
And if you really like what we did here tonight, you might consider financially supporting the show. Pledging on Patreon, becoming a subscriber on Twitch, joining as a member on YouTube, and your all of the above will grant you access to the Patreon Saints channel on our Discord server and to our eventual portal for accessing backer-exclusive content. Right now, it's the Patreon Saints channel on Discord, where you can go to vote in polls, make suggestions, help steer the direction of the show at all, and gain some exclusive content like the VODs for our Casual Mondays and bonus episodes of the podcast soon to follow. So please to consider that. Please to consider supporting us. Who else do you know that finishes Resident Evil Gaiden in a single sitting over the span of 3.5 hours? That's certainly worthy of a couple bucks, right? Right? If you can't financially support us, we completely understand, by the way. Consider instead sharing videos from our suggested viewing playlist with folk that you know. We got 20 handpicked episodes on that playlist that we think make for good onboarding onto the show of ours. Or maybe you know someone who's a big fan of boats. They might get a kick out of the boat. They might be like, oh, it's the stern. That's the poop deck. And then they'll have fun calling out and recognizing those things on the ship. And you can send them this episode and they'll love it. We leave it to your discretion, dear viewers. I don't think we're going to raid tonight. It's late. Not a lot of people are streaming right now. And I'm also tired. And I just want this to be done. So, that being said, thank you one last time for tuning in, folks. I've been Cassidy Gaiden. This is non-canon Cassidy.
I've been B.O. Charky.
And I've been Lucia too. Johnny Baghead. Oh damn, I lost the voice completely there.
Don't worry, I'm losing my voice completely right now for real, so it's only fair. Bye!
Good night, everybody.
Doodle.